It's 6 o'clock, I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: another person killed on Bedfordshire's roads, fresh concerns over Hertfordshire recycling site, and Wickham teenager charged with murder.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire yesterday evening. It happened on the A428 at Bromham. Earlier yesterday, a cyclist was killed on the Bedford bypass. 5 people have died on the county's roads in just over a week. More from Catherine Boyle.
Police are appealing for witnesses to last night's 2-vehicle collision which happened on the A428 at around 5:45. A woman in her 50s died at the scene and a man's been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. The male cyclist was killed on the A421 at around 6 a.m. with the road closed for over 8 hours. Last week, a woman pedestrian died in Dunstable, a motorcyclist was killed in Biggleswade, and a car driver died in Toddington.
Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site. Firefighters were at the scene again yesterday with smoke drifting across the nearby M1. Herts County Council say they're still considering taking legal action unless the wood is removed. The concerns of this resident, who wishes to remain anonymous, have been voiced by a BBC reporter.
And this morning you come out and you could just smell it. It's really bad. It's not wood burning, it's as if there's paint or something on this wood. There must be. That really worried me. I think the wind has gone that way because if you go down to Potter's Crouch, it's just awful, that smell.
A 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last month. The 17-year-old, who cannot be named for legal reasons, is due to appear at Reading Magistrates Court today. 2 18-year-olds from High Wycombe have already been charged with murder. A review of how charities raise their funds has said the public has lost confidence in the current system of regulation. The government ordered the report after a number of cases were highlighted of donors being bombarded with requests for money. European Union leaders will meet in Brussels today to approve a quota scheme for resettling migrants, with several countries protesting that it's being forced upon them. David Cameron will use the summit to call for more action on returning economic migrants to their home countries. Figures obtained by the BBC show that Hertfordshire police are taking longer to investigate cases. It's among the worst 10 forces in the country when it comes to the amount of time it takes to charge an alleged offender. More from Ollie Bayliss.
According to the figures, the Hertfordshire force took 103 days to charge an alleged offender in 2015. That's compared to just 80 days the year before. Bedfordshire and Thames Valley forces are also taking longer to charge people after an arrest. The Police Federation say it's because the police and the Crown Prosecution Service are under-resourced.
In sport, Milton Keynes Dons host Southampton in the third round of the League Cup tonight. The Dons could give a debut to new signing Nicky Maynard after the striker joined until the end of the season. The weather dry with some sunshine this morning, cloudier this afternoon with some rain this evening, a maximum temperature 17 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Where you live, wonder why you haven't before. If you are confused, check with the sun. Carry a compass to help you along. Your feet are going to be on the ground. Your head is there to move you around. So stand in the place where you live. Now face no. Think about direction, wonder why you haven't now. Stand in the place where you were. Now face where. Think about the place where you live, wonder why you haven't before. Your feet are going to be on the ground. Your head is there to move you around. Your wishes are trees, the trees would be falling. Listen to reason, the season is calling. Stand in the place where you live. Now face no. Think about direction, wonder why you haven't now. Stand in the place where you were. Now face where. Think about the place where you live, wonder why you haven't before. trees would be falling. Listen to reason, reason is calling. Your feet are going to be on the ground. Your head is there to move you around. So stand, now face no. Think about direction, wonder why you have it now. Stand, now face no. Think about the place where you live, wonder why you haven't. Stand in the place where you live, now face no. Think about direction, wonder why you haven't. Now stand in the place where you were, now face no. Think about the place where you live, wonder why you haven't. Stand in the place where you are, stand in the place where you are. Your feet are going to be on the ground. Your head in the place where you are around. So stand.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
That's the problem, dear, with angry people. They try to go it alone, digging in and making cranky feeble pleas that other angry disown. Angry people think a good solution is getting others involved, so they surround themselves with happy people and watch the smiles dissolve. We just drag them down. We just drag them down. We just drag them down until they're just like us. Angry people get so sanctimonious, telling us what to do, hoping no one else them all is phonies just 'cause we are all phonies too. Those of us who once had wives and families understand what I mean. What was once a common peaceful refugees overtaken by spleen, 'cause we just drag them down. We just drag them down. We just drag them down until they're just like us. I am the singer in the band. We're only trying to lend a hand, and though it's not what we had planned, we understand. We just drag you down. We just drag you down. We just drag you down until you're just like us. You see, the happy people's biggest problem is they're never fearing the worst, while the rest of us will never sleep until your happy bubbles up first. Yeah, we just drag them down. Tonight, just drag you down. Just watch me drag you down until you're just like us. Until you're just like us. Like us.
Oh yes, they're on the show next week. Oh, they're on the show next week. I'm going to interview them on Monday. Oh, it's sorted. Oh yeah. Not only are we going to go and interview them Monday, Catherine, we're going to go and see them record a TV show where they're doing 8 songs. They're playing 8 songs. And I said to the PR man, any chance we could pop along and... He said, yeah, oh, yes, names on the door. Names on the door. Bare naked ladies, thank you. Echo Belly today, it's like a 90s dream. Them pills finally kicking in. Have it. Now, 3 years ago, it took firefighters 3 months to put out a fire at a recycling plant near St Albans, which is about 3 miles away. It's not, but there's a lot of threes there. Is your microphone on?
No, it's not, is it?
Isn't that funny? Because I've got it turned on.
The green one.
Try that one?
Yes. Oh.
No. Plug that blue one in. We'll have to unplug. Sorry, Kelly. It's been great knowing you, Kelly, but we're going to have to unplug you. Isn't that funny?
Messing with this?
Who's been messing with my studio? And they're still in it!
Oh, yes.
That's an impression of the baby bear from... Sorry?
Is this one working?
That one works.
Oh, hang on, no, I need them back.
There you go, Kath.
All right.
Yeah, this is good, isn't it?
It's the
Lucky
BBC,
we're not doing it on air.
it's the BBC, isn't it? Eh? Yeah, exactly. Well done, Kelly.
Come and take a seat.
Great rehearsal,
Someone
guys.
has been tinkering with my equipment.
I'll push you in.
Thanks. Go on,
Do
push.
you want to send a snarky email or shall I send one?
We can both send one.
Okay.
Just send the recording of this.
Okay. 3 years ago, it took firefighters 3 months to put out a fire at a recycling plant near St Albans. Yesterday, they were back after smoke was spotted by passers-by. Catherine, why did this site first come to our attention? Let's go back in time.
Oh, let's. To November 2012, when a large fire broke out on a wood pile in the grounds of this recycling facility. Now, because it's so close to Junction 7 of the M1, and if you were driving along there, you will have had to drive through this massive cloud. We had loads of reports. The phones were going bonkers. And it caused huge delays. It blew out over the carriageway. Now, this fire burned for around 12 days, with residents nearby left without water and power.
Yep.
The water, because the fire service was using it all to keep the fire under control. But that wasn't it. It continued to smoulder for 3 months following the main fire. And it was then that questions began to be asked of whether you should be keeping something like that next to a main road like the M1 and beneath an electricity pylon.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Now, you'll remember we had quite a job trying to track down the owners of this site, Wood Recycling Services Limited. And following the fire, they went into liquidation in 2013.
Yeah, I know.
Do you remember?
I do remember that. That was such bad luck for that company.
Well, a new company, Navitas, received planning permission from the Environment Agency to build a biomass boiler on the site, but they've included strict limits on the amount of wood that can be stored on the site and ensured that building work can only commence once the wood is removed. You'll also remember Navitas had some similarities to the old company. Now, there was a suggestion that they at least knew each other. Now, the Environment Agency say they know residents are concerned about a repeat of the fire, so they are taking every precaution to ensure the sites run properly and safely.
Can I just say, right, the local council been absolutely rubbish. The Environment Agency have been rubbish. No one's going.
They put orders on them.
We
They're
had the council in. We had the council in really early on. Yeah, well, we're going to make sure that this never happens. Well, it keeps happening. You go grow some balls and go and sort them out.
They were supposed to reduce the height of that pile like 2 years ago.
Everybody's whispering, oh, you don't want to get involved with the people that run that company. You don't want to get involved with the people that run that company. I've heard stories. Go and sort them out. They're dodge pots and they're ruining the lives of the people that live near there. Sorted. Next.
The fire brigade are back. They've been dealing with another incident in the woodpile, called out at 7 a.m. yesterday to deal with a large amount of smoke and steam coming from one of the wood chip piles. Hertfordshire Fire and Rescue said on Twitter that they were at the site and warned motorists on the M1 to drive carefully through the smoke blowing onto the road. So far, so familiar. Residents we spoke to said that there was smoke everywhere and the smell was overpowering. We spoke to a woman who lives nearby. In fact, we spoke to a number of neighbours yesterday. They didn't want to speak to us. They didn't want to go on record because they're worried about repercussions.
Yeah. The implication is, and we don't know if this is true or not, but lots of people have kind of whispered to us, the people that run the company, they're very, very dodgy. Now, we don't know if they are or not, but that is the theme that runs through everybody we've spoken to. They're scared.
So this is why this woman's words have been voiced by a member of the team.
My son became ill yesterday and I couldn't understand it. He had a sore throat and he said, it's all burning. I've got a sore throat. I couldn't drop him off for school. He was that ill. I've got 3 purifiers going at higher speed because I went into our bedroom, which has got double glazing, and the smell was so bad. I've got them all going at 6.
Okay, and if what action is being taken? Not a lot.
Well, clearly this large pile of wood needs to be removed. And when we spoke to Councillor Iain Ray from Hertfordshire County Council after that fire in 2012, we asked what action they were going to be taking against the owners. Do you remember?
This was the guy, yeah. This is it.
As soon as we became aware that there was an issue with the breach of condition, we took action. Unfortunately, the operators did not comply with our requests. So
why didn't you take legal action?
We will take legal action as soon as all the processes...
It's too late now. It's on fire.
It It's on fire now, that's true, and there will be a prosecution, I'm sure, as a result. But we need to go through the processes first.
That was 2012.
Long processes.
How's that prosecution going, councillor? How's that prosecution going? You've not initiated it yet? There's a flipping surprise. Grow some balls.
The wood has still not been removed. This time round, Hertfordshire County Council have issued a statement.
Give us a bit of it, because it's long.
It's
and
really
I
long.
go to
We've met with the
travel.
Environment Agency to discuss the issues relating to the storage of wood at Apspon Lane. Have also taken legal advice. As a result, the County Council will be approaching the owner to ask him to voluntarily remove the wood from the site. Good luck with that. Should this be unsuccessful, we will take legal action to enforce the removal. We've also heard from the Environment Agency, almost word for word the same as the council. We also spoke to the MP for St Albans, Anne Main, who we were kind of going along with back then as well. She said she's seriously concerned about the lack of process on removing the wood. I mean, St Albans District Council say that Health and Safety Executive is now responsible for regulating the site, but it has yet to respond to us.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Bedford, it's busy on the Bedford Southern Bypass westbound between the High Road at Shortsdown and the A6 at Elstow. In Finchley on the North Circular Road, there are queues building up between the East End Road and the A1 at Henley's Corner. And in High Wycombe, it's looking quiet so far, but there's roadworks on Marlow Hill around Dawes Hill Lane, so that could cause delays later. On the motorways, things are all moving well so far. On the M1, though, in both directions between junction 12 for Flitwick and 11 for Dunstable, there's a lane closed each way for roadworks, so expect it to get busy there later on. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. I could have sent a snarkier email. I about the broken microphones. I took out the swear words and the personal accusation, so we know who it was. Right, it's 6:17. Is it when? Oh, it's Wednesday. The 23rd of September. Got a busy day today. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened on the A428 at Bromham yesterday evening. Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apspon Lane site. And figures obtained by the BBC show that Hertfordshire police are taking longer to investigate cases. Than what? Before or others?
Both.
Thank you very much indeed.
We've had a brilliant summer of cricket.
That's Edson Court, it's all over.
But once again, we're also celebrating our unsung sporting heroes.
He has such passion for sport.
I'm extremely proud of what we've achieved here.
Who will you nominate? We're looking for someone who inspires people to get involved in sport across beds, hearts and bucks.
He's funny, he's never strict with you, so you don't feel pressured.
To make your nominations, go to bbc.co.uk/unsunghero and download an entry form. The closing date is Thursday, 22nd of October, with our 2015 Unsung Hero announced at the BBC Sports Personality of the Year in December.
She cares about everyone else more than she does about herself.
Get inspired, get nominating.
I'd like to have more in control. I've lost
That one's working, that one's not. Testes, 1, 2, 3. Hang on. Enjoy the early 90s guitar sounds of Echo Belly. I was so in love with her. Oh, I was in love with her. She's going into a little living room. I'm going to ask her to marry me. Oh, I'm going to ask her to marry me. Right, try the red mic.
Red mic.
No.
Red mic, no. Try green mic.
Green mic.
No.
Over modding. Flipping heck.
Well, don't talk into the microphones because they won't work. It's not. Don't
Silly
look at
us
me.
trying
She's
to talk
looking-
into microphones.
Dear listener, Kelly Betts is looking at me as though it's my fault.
No, I'm just checking your level.
My levels are groovy, baby.
You're so groovy.
They're groovy. Hang on. Let's try. Hang on. Let's try. Try now. Green.
Hello.
Oh.
What?
Try red.
Hello.
Okay, but try green again.
Is it your fault?
No. Okay. I've got rid of the modding. Try it one more time.
Hello, green.
It's,
no,
but
it's still
it's
buzzing
still
a
really
bit.
quiet. I've got rid of the modding.
No, it's buzzing a bit
No,
still.
that's because no. Try again. It's not buzzing now.
Hello.
Not buzzing.
Okay.
But it's too quiet. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Who's
I reckon.
been messing with me microphones?
I reckon by 2017 we'll have a working studio. I won't be here, but we'll have a working studio. I'll crack on with the show, Kelly, if that's right with you, my darling.
I'm gonna go.
Thank you so much. Are you going by the kitchen?
I'm gonna go Radio X.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, he's on in 7 minutes. We better start getting good so that people stick with us. 03459 455 is the thing. Now, it's taking longer than ever for police to investigate crimes in Hertfordshire. Figures obtained by the BBC show that Hertfordshire police are in the top 10 for the number of days it takes to charge someone, with Bedfordshire and Thames Valley also above the national average. The Police Federation say it's because the police and the Crown Prosecution Service are under-resourced. But they would say that, wouldn't they? Alex Radley is a criminal lawyer with Luton-based Noble Solicitors. He also used to work for the police. Morning, Alex.
Morning, Ian. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you very much. Explain why this is important. What are the consequences of these delays for people who've been arrested?
The consequences are just massive. People can be on bail for months on end, and as you well know, you're innocent until proven guilty in this country, and sadly that doesn't feel like the case when you're on police bail. You can lose your job, you can lose your home, you can have assets restrained, and it can be really devastating to people.
And as well as the financial implications, of course, there's all the neighbours, there's everybody nudging as you walk into the local shop going, "Here, do you know what it is?" These things do need to be cleared up quickly, don't they?
Precisely, and sometimes you can never get rid of that stigma. I have people who I've had on bail over the years who have really become very low in their health, depressed, and even in cases suicidal because of the allegations that have been made against them, some of which turn out to be false. And they have to pick up the pieces.
Alex, why does it take so long then for the police to charge people in some instances?
Well, sadly, I think that the charging decision on serious crime is the duty of the prosecution service. And so a police officer who commences an inquiry now will do it to a level they feel is appropriate, send off the file to the Crown Prosecution Service, who will review the decision.
Alex, I don't know if you've moved. We're losing your signal's breaking up ever so slightly. If you've moved, if you could just go back to where you were when we started the conversation, because we just started to lose you a little bit there.
Sorry, hi. Am I okay there?
We got it. Yes, don't move, sir. Go on. You were telling us that the Crown Prosecution Service get involved, and that can slow things down.
Yeah, it does. Essentially, the police prepare a file, send it to the Crown Prosecution Service, who review the file and then send a memo back to the police to say, go and get this evidence. That evidence is obtained. It goes back to the CPS. They say, I thought of this, get this evidence. It then goes back to the police to do that. And that's where the process slows down. So it's a real problem.
It can't be entirely to the CPS, though, because then surely all of the police forces will be doing pretty badly, and some are doing quite well. And of our local ones, Herts Police and Thames Valley Police are doing significantly worse than a lot of other police forces, aren't they? Why would that be?
I don't know. It could be due to the levels of serious crime and therefore more referrals and therefore they're busier. It could be more cuts that are taking place in one particular area, because obviously the CPS in our area is now massive because it's Herts, Beds and Thames Valley. And so we're having lawyers coming from all over that sort of massive area to make these decisions. So, that could be a factor. And I think that cuts is a major factor, to be quite honest.
Should there be a time limit, finally, Alex, on how long it takes to charge? Would that work?
Yes. I think that there definitely should be a time limit on it, because the whole situation is so unfair, because the prosecuting authorities have whatever time they like to prepare a case so that it's ready for charge. The defendant then is, for the first time when he goes to court, given the case against him, and then is under immense pressure from the courts to have a decision made whether they're going to plead guilty or not guilty, and have the case dealt with in a very strict timetable when it's at court. And that's, completely unfair and an imbalance. It would be my view that there should be a time frame where, after a period of time, say 2 months, 3 months, that's reviewed by the court, and the court make the decision as to whether any time should be given after that.
Alex, I appreciate you talking to us at, well, let's be honest, it's a ridiculous time of the morning. But it's fascinating stuff. Thank you. Alex Radley, criminal lawyer with Luton-based Noble Solicitors. 03459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Bedford, the Bedford Southern Bypasses reports that it's at a standstill at the moment westbound between Cardington Road and the A6 at Elstow. On the North Orbital Road in Bricket Wood, it's busy at the M25 junction 21A roundabout, and anti-clockwise on the M25. It's building up now between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. On the M1, it's all moving fine at the moment through the roadworks. They're between junction 12 for Flitwick and 11 for Dunstable, with a lane closed each way, so it could get busy later on. And on the train to Patchwoods, there are no reported problems. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire yesterday evening. It happened on the A428 at Bromham. Earlier yesterday, a cyclist was killed on the Bedford bypass. 5 people have died on the county's roads in just over a week. Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site. And a review of how charities raise their funds has said the public has lost confidence in the current system of regulation.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Milton Keynes Dons host Southampton in the third round of the League Cup tonight. The Dons could give a debut to new signing Nicky Maynard after the striker joined until the end of the season. Here's manager Carl Robinson.
I think there's been some very, very good memories playing against Southampton. So to think that it was once a League One fixture, we know they're a much bigger club than us. We know that. In some ways, they've set the benchmark. Okay, we can't pay Southampton's wages, but we can do it an awful lot less than how we do it, but in a very similar and honest, with a lot of integrity. And I remember managing against them at their place at St Mary's and being 2-0 up. They scored 3 within 5 minutes and we lost 3-2. I can also remember Angel Balance scoring a great goal here and winning 2-0.
And there's full commentary on MK Dons versus Southampton in tonight's Three Counties Sport from 7. Meanwhile, the Dons last night confirmed the loan signing of Brighton's England under-21 midfielder Jake Forster-Caskey. He can't play tonight, but is set to feature against Derby on Saturday lunchtime. Tonight's other League Cup matches include Tottenham against Arsenal, Chelsea minus the suspended Diego Costa at Walsall, and Manchester United at home to Ipswich. Last night, Manchester City won 4-1 at Sunderland. Luton midfielder Ollie Lee has signed a longer-term contract, keeping him at the club until the summer of 2017. Meanwhile, midfielder Nathan Doyle and striker Paul Benson made their comebacks from injury in the reserves yesterday, with Benson scoring. And last night in the National League Premier, Boreham Wood won 2-1 at Torquay. The Rugby World Cup continues today with Scotland against Japan, Australia against Fiji and France against Romania. Details of England's team for Saturday's match with Wales are being revealed as Chris Jones reports.
With Jonathan Joseph injured and set to miss the Wales game at least, Stuart Lancaster has rolled the dice, not just by selecting rugby union rookie Sam Burgess at inside centre against a player of the calibre of Jamie Roberts, but also by dropping George Ford, one of England's best players over the past year, with Owen Farrell starting at 10. Brad Barrett moves to outside centre as Lancaster opts for a midfield full of muscle and power but short of guile. And while Farrell is a class act, the selection is one of Lancaster's boldest to date and could define his tenure as England head coach.
BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
Stop this.
Who's been messing around with this studio? You don't like that song or that singer, do you?
Katie Tunstall?
Yeah.
I love Katie Tunstall.
No, you don't. You've told me, a woman I know, and I'm guessing it's you,
not me.
has told me they don't like Katie Tunstall or that song.
No, I can play that song.
I just did.
No, I mean, I can play it. I've been practising some Katie Tunstall on my guitar.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So the old singer-songwriter.
Yeah, some of that.
Well, in that case...
It's not me. I don't like a lot of other people, but she's not on the list.
Okay. I'm close to playing a Kaniki song, but I know you hate them.
No, I don't hate them. I resent them.
Okay.
It's different.
It's different.
Subtly different.
Oh is the first number of the number. And keep
3459.
No, just let them listen to that in the morning. We'll give out...
What are you doing?
Why is everything... What's going on with this flipping studio? Let's try that instead. Hang on. That's better. We'll give out the rest of the numbers throughout the morning. Kelly, great to have you back.
3.
So...
4.
Okay. I tell you what, guys, there are no vibrations today, good or bad or indifferent. I've got no vibe. I feel like I'm made of cardboard and I'm sat in a gravy bowl.
You look like you're made of gravy.
Thank you very much indeed. But I've just got nothing, Kels. I'm just flat as a pancake.
Shall I give you a massage?
No. No. Hey, so Andrea, who listens in America.
Yeah.
And we suspect that she's drinking very heavily.
Why not? It's night time there.
Well, she sent me this weird tweet, and I didn't get it, right? Centralia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
The underground has been on fire since the 60s, right? And then she's put a picture of a floor.
A floor? It's the road, isn't it?
Yeah, and I thought, what a stupid thing to... What is this? I googled it. There's a town in Pennsylvania where underground has been on fire since 1962. That's insane! And they've evacuated the town, obviously. No one lives there. And it's all bubbling hot. And the rocks are hot and you can't touch the rocks.
What's on fire under there? I mean, gases, I'm imagining.
Coal mine.
Is it?
It's a coal mine, and they reckon it could burn. I've got the Wikipedia page open here. It could burn for another 250 years.
Well, they need to think of an application for it.
Will it spread? Do we need to worry?
It's been going since 1962, and it's been quite contained.
Okay.
Could they not use it like as a huge outdoor grill?
Yeah, if they had couldn't they use it to heat the housing for free? Because I've just had a gas bill, and it's really expensive.
But you wouldn't be able to leave your house because the floor's hot. You'd be,
No.
to your car and then,
You have the floor of your house.
Like those lizards.
No. Asbestos slippers.
Asbestos slippers?
Asbestos slippers, which was my nickname at school. I won't tell you why. You can have asbestos slippers, or you have a double floor. So you have a floor, then you have the floor that's hot, but then over that you have another floor. That one isn't hot. And then you drill holes through, the warm air rises, heats the house, beautiful.
What did they call that? The Romans used to do that, didn't they? Central heating.
Bumfoolery?
No.
Ready brick?
No.
Dicatorium?
Nearly.
They used to call it heating.
No, there was a name for it.
Heatonorium.
Yeah. Radiatorium.
There we go. Is the vomitorium real?
Yeah.
How do we know?
They used to tickle the back of their throat with a feather.
They did. So if you ate too much food, you go to a vomitorium and puke up.
They didn't even leave the room. You know, the stewards used to go in the corner of the room. If they're having a party, the stewards. I know this from Horrible History, so it's fact. It's basically a documentary.
The Alistair Stewarts. I made myself
I don't know
laugh.
about that. But the actual stewards, the old-fashioned ones.
Yeah.
So,
have you got this?
You didn't wear underwear until like Victorian times.
God,
so the women used to be able to just go and squat in the corner of the room.
Let's be honest, the old days were rough.
Filthy.
They're not much better today.
I mean, it was pretty similar in the 70s, wasn't it? You had a bath like once every fortnight if you were lucky.
A bath once a week.
In your dad's water.
But Dad would go first. Oh yeah, this is. Hey, Colin.
Hello, mate.
Do you remember this? Right, Sunday it was bath time. Dad would go first. Then Mum. Then my big sister, then me.
What? This happened in your house?
This happened in my house,
Bless your
yeah.
neck.
Surely it should be the smallest one first because there's less dirt to come off them.
The most old-fashioned
Well,
thing.
you would think so.
Yeah, you'd think. But they're liable to go in the water, aren't they?
I'm struggling with the levels because that blue mic is absolutely bobbins.
The most old-fashioned thing that happened in our bathroom was avocado sweet.
They're reforming, aren't they, the avocado sweet?
Fingers crossed.
No, they're not. It's the Bay City... Right, get this, you'll like this, Colin. You like old stuff.
I do.
The Bay City Rollers are reforming.
Yeah, I don't like the Bay City Rollers.
Here's the thing about the Bay City Rollers, right? And they were massive. They sold 100 million records.
And they just look like blokes.
Yeah, they were rubbish. The Osmonds, there's a few good Osmond songs. I could play Crazy Horses now, and we'd all get up and have a little boogie. Jacksons could play loads of Jackson stuff, and we'd all think it was fantastic. We could play some early Take That, and we'd enjoy that.
5-star.
We could play. Could play some Monkeys. We could play that. That'd be good. But the Bay City Rollers, there's a reason you don't hear it because it sounds flipping awful. It sounds awful.
I can't even remember what they did.
Bye bye, baby, baby, goodbye, baby, baby, bye bye. Bye bye. And then they did one called Bang Shang-a-Lang or something. Didn't they do Bang
Shang-a-Lang?
Basically, look, I've worked out a trick I can do on this computer. Look, they giveth with one hand, and then the other one they taketh awayeth with oneeth handeth, and then look what I can do with this, Catherine. Hang on, here we go. Watch this. You don't need to watch. You can just.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, that's an
advert, quick.
Hang on. I can do this. Look.
All I say, I can't put it off any longer. Just gotta tell her anyway.
Here we go.
Bye bye, baby, baby. The drummer was a paedophile. Bye bye, baby, don't make me cry. He escaped jail in 2000. I don't think it meant he broke out. I think he went to court and didn't go to jail. Caught in possession of child pornography. Yeah, so it's not a very current sound, is it? That's the problem.
No, true.
Anyway, Colin, what have you got for us, boss?
Right. Roman underfloor heating was called a hypercourse.
Of course.
Yes.
A hypercourse.
A hypercourse.
Hypercourse.
So it's called a hype?
A course.
Yeah, if you like.
Yeah. Okay. Have you been? You've not been doing a David Cameron, have you? And having what was it? What's the phrase?
I don't know where you're going.
No, not that one. A usual university
experience.
No, not for many years.
You sound a little groggy.
You sound. I'm going to be honest. You sound a bit stoned.
I woke up at 4:30.
Why?
I just did.
All right, Grumpy. Well, thanks for calling.
No, I'm not grumpy at all.
Okay, but you've finished your call. David's on the line. Good morning, David. Oh no, he's not. David's there. Morning, David.
Hi there.
Hi there, David.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm buoyed by the fact that the Bay City Rollers are getting back together.
Yeah, I know. Well, these things happen.
Why are all the weird old lonely men that phone us up in such a grumpy mood today?
Well, do you really want the Bay City Rollers, or do you want David Jones back?
Well, David Jones ain't never coming back. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
I know, but if we had that choice, wouldn't
we?
Oh,
if we had the choice to reanimate a dead monkey, then God damn it, I'd love that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What you got for us, you weirdo?
Well, it was just going to be the same as the other guy, the hypercourse. But you know where they've gone wrong, don't you?
Yeah.
They should have poured water down that mine, made steam. That's what power stations run on, is steam.
Oh.
They could have made all sorts of power.
It could have been like an old... and if they'd attached wheels to it and put it on a track, they could have driven all the way to New York City.
Andrea, if you're still listening, start filling the buckets.
And then someone says on Twitter that the vomitorium is not to do with vomit. I think that is right, actually.
What's it to do with then? Why do they call it that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
hey, listen to this.
We haven't got time. You've got to learn to look at the clock.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, a lane's been blocked anti-clockwise because of an accident between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford. It's causing delays from the M1, and it's also looking slow anti-clockwise because another lane's blocked between junction 25 for Enfield and 24 for Potters Bar by a lorry that's broken down. In Neasden on the North Circular Road, it's busy between the M1 at the Staples Corner flyover and Wembley, and in Bedford on the A421, there's reports that it's at a standstill westbound between Cardington Road and the A6 at Elstow, but we can't see that that's because of an accident. So if we've not had any reports of accidents, if you can update us, do call in. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. 6:45. Wednesday the 23rd of September, I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened on the A428 at Bromham yesterday evening. Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site. And a 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last month. Let's get the weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Quite a pleasant day all in all today. Bright, even sunny for much of the day. We have got cloud coming over from the west this afternoon, though. It's not finishing on such a sunny note. We may just see one or two drizzly bits and pieces, but for many of us, it will stay dry with highs of 17 degrees Celsius. Then through the night, some drizzle and showery rain on and off with lows of 12 degrees. That then clears tomorrow morning, and some of us will be left with a fair amount of cloud, but there will be some bright, even sunny spots with some isolated showers and fairly breezy at times too, with highs of 17 degrees Celsius. Now, from Friday through to Sunday, though, it's looking very settled indeed. Lighter winds, perhaps some early patchy fog and chilly mornings, but still quite bright and sunny during the day, and looking like it will stay dry for much of the time as well, and getting warmer as we go into next week. That's your latest forecast.
They are the eras that defined British music.
Four remarkable young men from Liverpool.
Next year, across BBC TV, radio and online, we're charting the pivotal moments in British music with the people's history of pop.
And it's here that a curious phenomenon is manifesting itself.
The cult is called punk, the music punk rock. So we're looking for your pop memorabilia. It could be a rare record, a treasured photo, or even a ticket stub to a legendary concert.
Around the world, it's time for Live Aid.
If you've got an item that could help us tell the story of British music from the 50s to the 80s, go to the People's History of Pop website, bbc.co.uk/peoplespop.
Talking away, I don't know what's left to say, I'll say it anyway. Today's not my day to find you shying away. I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone. And I'll say so needless to say, I'm on to ends, but I'll be stolen away. Slowly learning that life is okay. Say after me, but it's not better to be safe than sorry. Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone. And I'll say, things that you say, is it a love or just to play my worries away? You're all the things I've got to remember. You're shying away. I'll be coming for your love anyway. Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone. Take me on. I'll be
Before we open Kelly's microphone, did she just say the same weird thing to you that she just said to me that made no sense whatsoever?
I don't know. I think someone slipped me a Mickey or something because I don't know what that was about.
Let's go over to her and find out. Hi, Kelly.
Hello.
What was it you just said? Why don't you tell the boys and girls listening at home?
Hello, boys and girls at home. Parts of that song reminded me of The Wizard of Oz. You know, when the Wicked Witch is coming.
Thanks for calling. Let's go to our next caller. It's Mark in Bletchley. Good morning. What weird, wasn't it? That was weird, wasn't it, Mark?
It was.
Weird.
Talking of weird, and Mark in Bletchley Towers calls in.
Hey, he's a little bit kooky. He's a little bit crazy. Look out, guys. If I were you, I'd buckle your seatbelts because this is about to get hilarious lols.
It probably is, actually. I'm actually quite happy. I think it's quite sweet for the old Bay City Rollers to get back together again.
I'm happy for them to get back together. I just don't know if anybody will be interested. This is their hit, Summer Love Sensation. Let's have a little listen.
It's the 70s.
It's just a very limp sound, isn't it, Mark?
I think it'll be sort of more like the nostalgia side. That's why you'll get people of my age group, sort of, as we're sort of heading to 60, that appreciated them, sort of thing. But I never liked them, you know, back in the 70s, but if you wanted to go out with the girls, you had to buy them a record. The trouble is, I bought one girl a record, Bye Bye Baby, and it was okay until it dropped out the charts and she dumped me. So
she dumped you because the Bay City Rollers dropped out of the charts?
Yeah, when it dropped out of the charts, that was it. I wasn't required.
Could you not go and buy their next single, or maybe even a long player?
I don't know. I think they moved on. I think Bye Bye Baby, because that was by the 4 seasons originally. And I actually heard it on Sunday night on the Roger Twiggy Day show. He played the original sort of thing, but and I said that you know I bought that for a girl, but
oh, hang on, is this a second-hand story? Have you told this story to another radio show?
No, I emailed Roger Day on something. I forget where I am.
Thanks very much indeed for calling, Mark. Mark's going all around the dial there. Thank you, Mark. We're moving on.
Does he think this is giving us second-hand news?
Let's ask him. Mark, what do you think this is giving us second-hand news? Kath wants to know. He's
exactly.
Gone. I think, have I got this right? Didn't Jonathan King have a hand in the Bay City Rollers?
Gosh, just one.
I made myself laugh. But I think he did, didn't he?
He had a hand in a lot of groups.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he had quite a bit of input into the Bay City Rollers. That's all I can think of. That'll do for the moment.
Their work was touched by Jonathan King.
There we go. I think he was fiddling around behind them, wasn't he, at some point? Etc, etc, etc. What have you got in the papers?
This old lady, right, you know when you do a little experiment and then you think, OK, enough's enough. This old lady tried to grow...
Hang on a minute. Do you know when you're doing a little experiment and you think, OK, enough's enough? No.
Yeah, right, OK.
Kelly, do you?
No.
No, literally, no.
Here's an example of one of my experiments where I called it a day, right? Someone told me you could regrow a lettuce.
What?
Have you tried this? Your kids will flip. It's amazing.
You can regrow a lettuce?
Yeah, if you chop it down to
like the tribe in the Amazon that can regrow limbs if they're chopped off.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's true. That's true.
You chop it down to the
government don't want you to know that.
Right, chop the end off so you've got like the hard bit. Let's call it the heart.
What are we talking about now?
Lettuce.
Okay. Thought we were back to Jonathan
King.
That's why I'm
doing this.
Okay, yep.
But sit it in a saucer of water and it will regrow. The leaves start regrowing.
Go on, then do it.
You can end up with a tiny... I've done it already. Enough was enough.
I don't believe it. I had a
It's
woman...
true.
I had a friend who told me that if you shook milk long enough, it turned into butter.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're done.
That's how they make butter.
So,
churn it.
Well, yeah, but what she... Right, so I spent literally 3 hours of a radio show, LBC, that we got... Imagine an LBC show now where the host for 3 hours is just shaking milk. That's what I did. So I shook the milk for the 3 hours.
You shook the what?
The milk for 3 hours. And at the end of it, we had the tiny little bit of butter, because it's not the milk that turns into butter. It's the cream.
Oh, so you wasted your time there, didn't you?
Well, exactly. So there was the time. We can do this. It's experiments. What you have done. 03459 455 555. It was the tiniest bit of butter, and I was there for an hour, just like this. 3 hours, just like this.
You must have been exhausted.
Oh, my arm. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, Catherine, there was a reason for you sharing
this
this
old
with us.
lady took 6 years to grow a pineapple. I would have called it probably 2 years. I'd have called
and
it.
it's only tiny.
Yeah.
And she's going to eat it.
I don't know if she should eat it.
I don't like pineapples. Well, there's a picture of her. She's in the paper. She's going to eat. She's gotten it open. She's about to eat it.
Oh, what a waste of time.
Yeah, I don't like.
She should pickle it or something.
I don't like pineapples.
I think they're tart.
Yeah, our little tarts. Pouncing around with their spiky bits on display.
They are delicious with cheese, though, and I know it's an old-fashioned combo, but they are delicious with cheese.
And the Hawaiians, the Hawaii should be so much more than just cheese and pineapple on a pizza. It really is.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
We didn't do this story yesterday, and I'm surprised.
Go on. Should we not do it again?
No, we're going to do it now.
Go on then. You just hesitated.
A pervert has been banned from playgrounds. Do you know why? You know why.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know why?
Slipping and sliding.
Yeah, well, yeah. He was bonking a slide.
How can you even...
There's no purchase. You try walking up one of those things. Isn't it funny? Because I used to like climbing up slides, all right? So if my kids are doing it, and as long as they've got really muddy feet, I don't mind them climbing up slides. Some parents get really angry with other kids climbing up slides.
Well, it's upsetting the status quo, isn't it?
Well, just be unconventional.
Do you know what the best thing to do to a slide is?
Well, according to Christopher Johnson, it's to...
No, get a bit of Mr. Sheen on it.
Yeah.
They go for flipping miles.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I mean, you are going to end up with grass stains unless you put something down.
I remember the first time I was allowed to take my nephew out on my own. He must have been about 3. Well, maybe it wasn't the first time, but I took him to the park, about 3 or 4. And he wanted me to come down the slide after him, so I did. But I came hammering it down there. I must have had butter on my bum or something. And he was stood at the bottom. Knocked him flying.
That'll teach him, won't it? Little monkey.
That was Real Big Fish, says Craig, who wants to know who did that cover of Our Heart.
Take that.
A pervert banned from playgrounds for bonking a slide last night said the devil got the better of me.
Wow.
The Sun
got some
told
weird
yesterday
ideas.
how Christopher Johnson was caught simulating sex on the kids' attraction. Speaking to us...
On the ladder or on the actual...
On the slidey bit. It's always been a fetish of mine.
How?
I wanted to feel the metal, lie on it, and get turned on.
Oh.
I made the mistake of taking it into the public. The devil got the better of me. I had 8 or 9 drinks.
Well,
I mean, really, guys, that would do it, wouldn't it?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Bedford, there are a lot of reports of long delays on the A421 Bedford Southern Bypass in the stretch between Cardington Road and the A6 at Elstow. It's reported to be at a standstill, and it's a stretch where there was an accident yesterday, so investigation work is going on, which might be causing the delays from the St Neots Road, is where the queues are back to now. In Bricket Wood on the North Orbital Road, it's very slow around the M25 junction 21A roundabout, and on the M25 there are queues anti-clockwise because 2 lanes are closed between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford. The delays are back from the M1, and also there's a lane blocked by lorry that's broken down between junction 25 for Enfield and 24 for Potters Bar. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. You can tell us about experiments you've done. But more importantly, the Bay City Rollers. I get most band reunions. I get most genres of music. But the BRC? No, hang on.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: another person killed on Bedfordshire's roads. Residents' concern over Hertfordshire recycling site, and Wickham teenager charged with murder.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire yesterday evening. It happened on the A428 at Bromham. Earlier yesterday, a cyclist was killed on the Bedford bypass. 5 people have died on the county's roads in just over a week. More from Catherine Boyle.
Police are appealing for witnesses to last night's 2-vehicle collision which happened on the A428 at around 5:45. A woman in her 50s died at the scene, and a man's been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. The male cyclist was killed on the A421 at around 6 a.m, with the road closed for over 8 hours. Last week, a woman pedestrian died in Dunstable, a motorcyclist was killed in Biggleswade, and a car driver died in Toddington.
Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site. Firefighters were at the scene again yesterday with smoke drifting across the nearby M1. Herts County Council say they're still considering taking legal action unless the wood is removed. The concerns of this resident, who wishes to remain anonymous, have been voiced by a BBC reporter.
And this morning you come out and you could just smell it. It's really bad. It's not wood burning, it's as if there's paint or something on this wood. There must be. That really worried me. I think the wind has gone that way, because if you go down to Potter's Crouch, it's just awful, that smell.
A 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last month. The 17-year-old, who cannot be named for legal reasons, is due to appear at Reading Magistrates Court today. 2 18-year-olds from High Wycombe have already been charged with murder. A review of how charities raise their funds has said the public has lost confidence in the current system of regulation. The government ordered the report after a number of cases were highlighted of donors being bombarded with requests for money. European Union leaders will meet in Brussels today to approve a quota system for resettling migrants, with several countries protesting that it's being forced upon them. David Cameron will use the summit to call for more action on returning economic migrants to their home countries. Figures obtained by the BBC show that Hertfordshire police are taking longer to investigate cases. It's among the worst 10 forces in the country when it comes to the amount of time it takes to charge an alleged offender. More from Ollie Bayliss.
According to the figures, the Hertfordshire force took 103 days to charge an alleged offender in 2015. That's compared to just 80 days the year before. Bedfordshire and Thames Valley forces are also taking longer to charge people after an arrest. The Police Federation say it's because the police and the Crown Prosecution Service are under-resourced.
In sport, Milton Keynes Dons host Southampton in the third round of the League Cup tonight. The Dons could give a debut to new signing Nicky Maynard after the striker joined until the end of the season. The weather dry with some sunshine this morning, cloudier this afternoon with some rain this evening, a maximum temperature 17 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Experiments what you have done at home. I don't know if growing a pineapple for 6 years counts as an experiment, but I did sat there shaking my milk for 3 hours to try and make buttero. Butter. Tiniest... What? What?
It's not buttero.
Well, it depends what language you're speaking.
Oh, well, God knows what that was.
Thank you very much indeed. For the tiniest bit of butter. I was lied to. And then I saw the woman a few days afterwards. Oi! That butter thing was nonsense. She says, oh, was it? I've never tried it. Bear with me, my computer's just crashed. Don't worry, it's just phone box crashing. Don't worry, guys. Close, yes. We'll get there.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's one of them days, huh? We joked about the millennium bug the other day. I think the millennium bug is happening now. I think it's happening now. I've got it back on again now. It's fine. 3 years on from a major fire at a recycling facility near St Albans, smoke has been spotted there again. It's coming from a wood pile that was supposed to have been dismantled 2 years ago. The site's neighbours are concerned the smoke may turn into flame. Last time it took fire crews 3 months to put it out, leaving nearby homes without water or electricity. Well, Assistant Chief Fire Officer Iain Parkhouse joins me now. Morning, Iain. You were the duty officer yesterday. What's going on?
Yeah, good morning, Lee. Obviously, at Swan Lane, we had an incident a number of years ago that took us a considerable amount of time to extinguish. We received a couple of calls over the weekend to the site that we attended and actually didn't conduct any firefighting action. However, obviously, concerns from local residents and the community has meant that we've been in attendance at the site all day yesterday and we're back there this morning.
And what is going on? What's happening there then?
So the initial calls in, it was obviously because of the type of waste material at the site, it generates its own heat and tends to steam off. So the first initial calls over the weekend were a result of this steaming off and actually steam coming off the pile of waste. Obviously, the site operators have brought in some heavy machinery and are actually moving the pile around and damping that down. We're there as a real precaution, Ian. Lee, sorry, more than anything.
No, it's Ian. I'm an Ian, the same as you. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So we're there as a precaution, really, to make sure that the fire doesn't, a fire doesn't escalate and cause an impact on the local community and the road network.
This is a nuisance that just won't go away, isn't it? I'd imagine that you guys have got better things to do, and B, would like to kind of see all of this waste and this wood removed.
Yeah, well, since the incident a couple of years ago, we've been working really closely with both the Environment Agency and the local environmental department at Herts County Council to get the product off-site, because that's our ultimate goal, is to get the product off-site to another location or disposed of in a safe manner.
You say you're working with the councils and the Environment Agency. Do we know if the owners of the land are involved at all, if they're playing ball?
Sorry, and of course, obviously the site owners, site occupiers, are fully involved in those discussions in an attempt to get the product off-site.
I know you can't answer this, and this is out of your remit, but I don't understand why it's taken so long for not a lot to be done. Are you confident, Iain, that this isn't going to catch fire?
Well, obviously, like I said, we've got crews on scene. They're dealing with any hotspots of fire we may have, and obviously the site operators have brought in some heavy machinery. We've got crews back there this morning, so we had crews there until about 11 o'clock last night. We've got crews back there this morning helping out the site operators with their actions and operations. All right, nice one, Ian. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much indeed. That's Assistant Chief Fire Officer Iain Parkhouse. Remember, this has been going on for years, guys. This was... 3 years. 3 years ago, we had that councillor in.
That's right, yeah, 2012.
And it's going on and on and on. And fair play to Ian. The boys and the girls are there doing their job, but they got better stuff to do than spend, a few days and nights by a big pile of wood.
And let's not forget, last time it took them 3 months to put it out completely.
It's just a waste of money. Justin's been down there this morning. What's going on?
Morning, boss. Yeah, I was going to say, I was here last night as well at about 9 o'clock, and there were fire engines going into the site this morning. It almost looks like a mini bonfire. I need to stress, this is nothing compared to 2012 when we saw those 25-foot flames. But as you drive past the site, you can certainly see that there's smoke. The fire brigade are there, precautionary, of course, but it's a problem here which won't go away. And once again, we're back here this morning. And unfortunately, when it comes to the locals, very rarely does this happen. But a lot of locals, they won't talk to us because they feel intimidated about the people who actually run this site. So they're actually quite scared to come and talk to us about the situation, which, as we keep on going back to, is a situation which will not go away.
Justin, I just think I'm getting angry now. Well, I was angry then, but I'm angry for the residents, but also angry. All waste of time for the fire service. Flipping it. If I remember there was a period during that 3 months when you were there pretty much nearly every day. Remind us what happened last time.
Yeah, I was going to say, this was November 2012. It was a fire which broke out. It was a large wood pile, which I can still see this morning, by the way, on the grounds of this recycling facility. Very, very close to the M1, Junction 7. So a lot of people were getting caught up in that. A lot of people being delayed on the motorway at the time. Calls coming in this morning, not about the M1, but about the local roads and the smoke which is blowing in a certain direction. So this was back in 2012. It burned for around 12 days, but it continued to smoulder, as you correctly point out there, for 3 months. Now, you may remember at the time that we had quite a job trying to track down the owners of the site.
Oh, yeah.
Wood Recycling Services Limited, and they went into liquidation. Well, now a new company called Navitas, they've received planning permission from the Environment Agency to build a biomass boiler on this particular site, but they have included strict limits on the amount of wood that can be stored here. So the fire brigade back again this morning dealing with more smoke, boss.
And the fire brigade, they were called out yesterday at about 7 a.m. because of this smoke and this steam. And what have they been saying on Twitter, the Herts Fire and Rescue?
Well, yesterday they were warning motorists that a number of the smoke, the smoke from that wood pile could be blowing towards the M1 again. This morning, it's right directly above the M1, Junction 7. So when we had the big fire back in 2012 with those huge flames, clearly the smoke was travelling across the M1, causing all sorts of problems. So yesterday on Twitter, the fire brigade were warning people, if they were travelling in that direction, to be aware of smoke. It's certainly not blowing in the direction of the M1 this morning. It's blowing in the opposite direction. But as you drive past, it just looks like a bonfire. As I say, nothing compared to what happened a few years ago, but they were here yesterday, they're back here this morning. The fire brigade, they've got better things to be doing, but they're here once again with precautionary measures.
I've got to play this clip, right? This is brilliant. I knew this was going to happen, right? We had a councillor in 2012. Councillor Iain Ray from Hertfordshire County Council, and I remember at the time thinking, what you're saying to me is not going to happen. I asked them, listen to this, Josh, you'll love this. I asked them about whether they were going to take action against the owners. This is in 2012, right? Have a listen.
As soon as we became aware that there was an issue with a breach of condition, we took action. Unfortunately, the operators did not comply with our requests. So
why didn't you take legal action?
We will take legal action as soon as all the processes.
It's too late now. It's on fire.
It's on fire now, that's true, and there will be a prosecution, I'm sure, as a result, but we need to go through the processes first.
How's that prosecution 3 years later, Councillor? Is he still a councillor, that guy? Is he still around? Because we should have got him on. And I kind of was hoping that's what the team would do, would get him on and play that to him. Because, I mean, the Herts County Council have issued a statement, have they just, I'm assuming?
Yeah, they have. Here's the statement. It says, we have met with the Environment Agency to discuss the issues relating to the storage of wood at the Apps Pond Lane site and have also taken legal advice. As a result, the council will be approaching the owner, and this is classic, to ask him to voluntarily remove the wood from the site. Should this be unsuccessful, we will take legal action to enforce the removal.
Guys, it's
the
been
Environment
unsuccessful.
Agency also provided us with a statement which was pretty much word for word, and the local MP, Anne Main, again, seriously concerned about the lack of progress removing the wood. And as you drive past this morning, I've got to be honest with you, not a lot has changed since 2012. You can still see the wood.
Involved in this, apart from obviously the fire service and the neighbours, comes across as just being very, very stinky in their slack attitude, their slatitude. Justin, I'm hoping you can get me... there's a weird reunion taking place, right? Just going off on a complete tangent, by the way. The Bay City Rollers are getting back together. Now, I get most bands. The Osmonds, there's a few good Osmond songs. The Jacksons, there's loads of good Jackson songs. 5 Star, there's a couple of songs of those I could have a bop to. The Bay City Rollers, it's a very kind of weedy... I mean, listen to this, here we go. Oh, actually, this is quite rocking. Hang on a minute. I might have stumbled on something. Wait for the vocals. No, it's rubbish. They are a rubbish band, aren't they, Just?
No, they're not. What are you talking about?
You don't tell me you like the Bay City Rollers.
No, I do like them. And do you know what? if you look back on people's memories of buying music, that's why they're so special. Some of their songs may have been a bit iffy, but people going out buying them as kids,
Some of their members were a bit iffy.
You can't beat those memories.
Can you take it to the streets, just? Are people looking forward to the Bay City Rollers getting back?
I can tell you they are without even talking to people.
Oh, well, blimey. I mean, it really is just, of all the limp sounds in all the world, you had to limp into mine.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are delays on the M25 anti-clockwise. 2 lanes are closed between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford because of an accident. That's causing delays from the M1. And also there's a lane blocked anti-clockwise between junction 25 for Enfield and 24 for Potters Bar because a lorry's broken down, and that's causing queues from junction 26 for Waltham Abbey. On the A1M, it's slow southbound between junction 8 for Hitchin and 7 for Stevenage. And it's stop-start on the Bedford Southern Bypass in Bedford westbound between Cardington Road and the A6 at Elstow. It's after the accident in that stretch yesterday and a police investigation that's taking place, and it's causing delays from St Neots Road. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. 7:16, Wednesday, the 23rd of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened on the A428 at Bromham yesterday evening. Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site. And a 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last week.
Every weekday morning.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Morning. Do you think it's right to tell 1 million disabled people they should get off benefits and find a job?
Have your say on today's big phone-in.
People who are going to be a nuisance are going to be a nuisance regardless of whether there are things to do.
Is it true that people over the age of 65 drink far too much booze?
The JVS show fights for your rights and tackles your consumer problems.
Waited and the receipt came out, but the cash didn't.
It's become a problem of late because obviously the trees got bigger as we've got here.
We couldn't shut the French windows. It would appear that they'd buckled.
I had a phone call from my daughter saying if we don't get off the train, they're going to hand us over to the British Transport Police.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Big up yourself, Tony.
Ah, hello, Ian.
Hello, Tony. What you got for us, boss?
Well, I was just thinking about that recycling plant. Perhaps you should get down there with some sausages.
Well, you never know. Always look on the bright side of life. Every cloud has a silver lining, as they say. Get some Here's the thing I don't like, Tony. I don't like the old marshmallows over the campfire. It's horrible. It's horrible. They go black, they go sticky, they go dirty. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too good. I've never tried them. But there again, I don't like sweet things.
Well, you don't like any sweet things?
No, I suppose there's a few sweet things I do like.
Oh, cheeky. My family went to and I'm not going to say where it is because it would be dangerous, went to a well-known Swedish furniture flat pack distributor the other day, and I got in my wife's car and there's a bag of sweeties, right, and they look like sweeties. And then I was eating them, but they didn't taste like proper sweeties. And I said, "Where are they from?" She said, "IKEA." Oh, I've said it now. She said, "Don't."
It's all right. You got away with it.
I've said it. Oh, no. Basically, the sweets in IKEA are crap. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh no, you get a lot of dime bar action in there.
Well, you get that, but they were like pick a mix, but it was poor man's pick a mix. They were horrible, Tony.
Yes, and they'll rock your teeth.
Well,
there is that. Yes,
I don't buy that. Listen. I'm a 42-year-old guy, and I have only ever... Guess how many fillings I've had, Tony?
7.
I've just had one.
Yeah, but you don't go to the dentist.
I used to go to... Up until I moved, I went to the dentist every 6 months, so you can have that.
Yeah, but when was the last time you went?
And that.
Oh. Just because you've not got a filling doesn't mean you don't need one.
Oh, my teeth don't hurt. I'm just checking my teeth.
They will.
Can't feel any air going where it shouldn't as I suck in. So, suck in, guys. Anyway, Tony, what are you called in for?
About an experiment that I did that was also to do with milk, but it worked.
Oh, yeah, go on.
And it's making yoghurt.
You're listening to BBC Local Radio. Yes, Tony.
which is actually very, very easy. And it continues on and on and on.
But this is started it. Right. Well, go on. Tell me how you did it.
Right. You heat up the milk. See the milk bit to 38 degrees.
Bored already, but carry on. I asked the question. I have to pursue this to the end now.
Yeah,
yes.
right. Well, there you are. Then you deserve it.
Or you could just buy.
Well, yeah, you could do.
You could buy a ski.
You get for nothing. You just get it for the price of the milk and a little energy. And then you pour it into a vacuum flask.
Yeah.
Add a little live yoghurt.
If only you were saying this in poetry form, it would really be ticking.
Hang on. So you make yoghurt by putting yoghurt in milk?
Yeah, just a little yoghurt.
No, this is the weird thing, because let's go back to the 1970s. My mum had a yoghurt maker.
What for?
To make yoghurt.
I know, but what for?
These are big in the 70s, and you've just reminded me. Thank you, Tony. I'm now transported back to my kid. No, stay there. You listen. You ain't getting out of this conversation that quickly. Tony, he's done. What a boller! Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
But I wanted to know what he did next, so we added the yoghurt, and then I'm with him.
The thing is, with that yoghurt that you make yourself, you have to add so much sugar to make it edible. So she had this yoghurt maker, right? And I never knew. To me, it was like voodoo. I don't know how it worked. So it was like, you know those plastic boxes that you would heat your rollers in?
Yeah.
So you got like slots, right?
Tony's back.
Tony's back. Put Tony on. Put Tony back on.
Right, so this
Tony,
slot.
stay there, fella.
This slots. I'm with you on the slots.
Hang on, let's get. I want
There
to,
it is.
Tony, you don't listen. You started this boring conversation. You've got to suffer with all of us to the end.
Okay. Well, you see, the point is, once you've got the yoghurt, you could just keep on making it.
Is this Tony or Richard Spendlove? I don't. So, but that yoghurt is inedible.
No, it's not. It's beautiful.
It tastes flipping horrible. All right. Well, then, can you tell?
Added.
Can you? In that case, then. Can you tell? We've got like, proper serious guest coming on. He's thinking, what the hell am I doing on this rubbish?
No, he's not. He's thinking, right, I'm going to make some yoghurt.
So my mum, Tony, had a yoghurt maker, right? It was like a big plastic box with a clear lid, and it had 6 slots. And you would slot. Oh, I'm there. I'm travelling in time. This is wonderful. You would slot these little plastic tubs into the slots, right? Mm-hmm. And they would make yoghurt. And it was horrible. It was like warm. Imagine warm, tasteless yoghurt. Well, that's what.
What would you put in them?
Lot of sugar. But I don't know, and if anyone could, I have no idea how my mum made the yoghurt with this. I remember it got really hot, so I'm guessing it was cooking it.
Yeah, that would be the 38 degrees, which is important.
38 degrees of separation. 38 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We'll play that in a bit. We're all linked to Kevin Bacon by 38 different people. Whoopi Goldberg's in there somewhere.
By the way, Ian.
Yes.
Is there any chance that Catherine could give us a little of a guitar virtuoso?
No.
Could you pull one off for Tony?
What, could I have a twang on air?
Could you have a what?
A twang.
Listen back to the tape. Listen back to the tape for the rude version of that conversation.
Handy.
I don't have my instrument to hand, no.
Oh, what a pity. Well, some other day then.
Well, Tony, I will get her to come in and she will do it for us. She'll have a twang on air.
No, I won't.
Thank you, Tony. Don't.
My public strumming days are over.
Your what days?
Yes.
If anyone knows how those yoghurt makers worked, please. I have no idea. We're talking experiments. It seems to be experiments with food.
Yeah. Food experiments.
Food experiments. Fifi says, if you whip Marmite for long enough, kinky, it turns white.
Don't we all?
What?
Wowzers.
That's insane.
Well, it's yeast.
Oh, okay, fine.
Not quite so insane, is it, actually?
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, it's taking longer than ever for the police to investigate crimes in Hertfordshire. Figures obtained by the BBC show that Hertfordshire police are in the top 10 for the number of days it takes to charge someone, with Bedfordshire and Thames Valley also above the national average. The Police Federation says it's because the police and Crown Prosecution Service are under-resourced. Well, we heard from a lawyer how this can have an impact on criminals and those accused of crimes. But let's speak now to David Paget from the East of England Victim Support. David, how can these delays affect victims?
Well, that's a big question. In many ways, really. I mean, there's always this dilemma between victims wanting their cases properly and robustly investigated, just to make sure that prosecutions are successful, But if they are taking time to get to court, which isn't necessarily linked to charging, then their quality of their evidence can disappear over the months. Their memory may fade. They may get less engaged with the criminal justice service. They just get fed up with waiting for justice to be delivered. So they're not necessarily linked directly to the period of charging.
I suppose it's getting that balance right, isn't it, between making sure it's done in a swift manner, but also that they've got all the evidence and everything they need to make sure that, you know, if the case does go to court, they can get a successful prosecution.
Absolutely. Obviously, the faster the better, the swifter the better, that's for sure. But what victims want is justice. And some cases are fiendishly difficult and take an awful long time to investigate before any charge can be properly laid. So, but you'll get victims who will want things done now. You'll get victims who will want things done thoroughly. And actually, if it takes a long time, then it just takes a long time.
If things drag on, I would imagine that in some cases that some people are less likely to want to go to court as a witness. Once the kind of initial excitement of the crime, and I use excitement in the literal sense, has disappeared, that perhaps some people just want to move on or get scared or, for whatever reason, don't want to go to court.
Well, going to court's a difficult time anyway. It's bad enough being a victim of crime and then have to go to court, and at times months and months after the actual offence. It can be really difficult. You're absolutely right, and some people do become less enthusiastic and less supportive of the case. But most victims want something to be done. Most victims don't want the offence that happened to them to happen to anybody else. And realistically, most victims will want something done at some stage. But you're right, the delays can put people off, and especially if cases are adjourned, people become fantastically disengaged and less enthusiastic.
There are suggestions from some quarters that a limit, maybe a 28-day limit on people being charged would be helpful. Is that something that you would consider?
I think a 28-day limit is fantastically short-sighted. It doesn't allow at all for really difficult cases to be investigated. You can't just charge people willy-nilly and then have an unsuccessful prosecution, because ultimately victims won't get the justice they deserve from that. But undeniably, it can be very difficult where charging takes an awful long time because a case takes an awful lot of investigating. The key here, though, is for the police and the Crown Prosecution Service to manage the expectations of victims, to make sure they're properly informed, they know what's going on, and they know what they could expect, and for a realistic view to be given to them on that score.
David, appreciate your time as always. Thank you. David Paget from the East of England Victim Support. 03 459 455 555. Let's have a quick rundown, Catherine, of what we've learnt so far in the last 30 minutes, please.
If you shake milk, you'll get some lumpy bits.
We learnt anything else?
If you wet lettuce, it'll grow again.
Yeah. Well, even just a leaf will grow into a full lettuce.
No, it needs to be the heart sitting in a bowl of water.
Okay, yes.
Right? And if you...
Whip Marmite, it turns white.
White, apparently.
Yep.
And if you put some yoghurt in some milk, you can grow yoghurt.
The yoghurt thing... Does anyone remember those yoghurt makers from the 70s? And we don't do that. Do you remember? Do you remember white dog poo in the street? Don't see that. Remember, have them to Spangles. You can still buy them. All right.
I picked up a white dog poo thinking it was chalk.
Well, isn't that romantic? But these yoghurt makers in the 70s, they were weird, man, and it was the thing, because we couldn't all afford. The thing is, in the 70s, we didn't have Petit Falou.
No.
Didn't have Greek yoghurt.
No.
We didn't have Muller pots.
All we had was ski.
All we had was ski, and some of us couldn't afford. We couldn't afford ski, Kels. You could probably go and buy a 6-pack of ski, eat 2, chuck the rest away. You won't even notice that in your purse.
Ski was dear then.
Ski was very
proper dear.
Here we go. Ski was steep.
Oh?
Yeah.
You're a plum.
Oh, thank you. Oh, no, hang on a minute.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's very busy busy on the M25 anti-clockwise. 2 lanes are closed from junction 20 for Kings Langley to 19 for Watford, with delays from the M1. And also there's a lane blocked between junction 25 for Enfield anti-clockwise to 24 for Potters Bar. And those delays are from junction 27 for the M11 because a lorry's broken down. In St Albans on the North Orbital Road, it's very busy between the London Coney roundabout and the Park Street roundabout. It's down to 1 lane through there because of the roadworks. And in Bedford on the Bedford Southern Bypass, it's stop-start westbound between Cardington Road and the A6 at Elstow, in the stretch where there was an accident yesterday morning. It's because of a police investigation. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened yesterday evening on the A428 at Bromham. Early yesterday morning, a cyclist was killed on the Bedford bypass. 5 people have now died on the county's roads in just over a week. Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site. Firefighters were called again yesterday with smoke drifting across the nearby M1. Crews are still there this morning. And a 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last month.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Milton Keynes Dons host Southampton in the third round of the League Cup tonight. The Dons could give a debut to new signing Nicky Maynard after the striker joined until the end of the season. His manager Carl Robinson.
I think there's been some very, very good memories playing against Southampton, so to think that it was once a League One fixture, we know they're a much bigger club than us. We know that in some ways they've set the benchmark. Okay, we can't pay Southampton's wages, but we can do it an awful lot less than how we do it, but in a very similar and honest, with a lot of integrity. And I remember managing against them at their place at St Mary's and being 2-0 up. They scored 3 within 5 minutes and we lost 3-2. I can also remember Angelo Ballan scoring a great goal here and winning 2-0.
And there's full commentary on MK Dons versus Southampton in tonight's Three Counties Sport from 7. Meanwhile, the Dons last night confirmed the loan signing of Brighton's England under-21 midfielder Jake Forster-Caskey. He can't play tonight, but is set to feature against Derby on Saturday lunchtime. Luton midfielder Ollie Lee has signed a longer-term contract, keeping him at the club until the summer of 2017. Meanwhile, midfielder Nathan Doyle and striker Paul Benson made their comebacks from injury in the reserves yesterday, with Benson scoring. And last night in the National League Premier, Boreham Wood won 2-1 at Torquay. The Chelsea striker Diego Costa has been banned for 3 matches for violent conduct during the win over Arsenal. Meanwhile, Chelsea's club doctor has left Stamford Bridge. More from Ian Dennis.
Diego Costa's 3-match ban is with immediate effect, starting with tonight's League Cup tie at Walsall. Chelsea say they are extremely disappointed, but will await the written reasons before making any further comment. Meanwhile, club doctor Eva Carneiro has left Stamford Bridge 6 weeks after criticism from Jose Mourinho and her role downgraded. She had been asked to return to work, but she decided against that and is now considering her legal position.
And the Rugby World Cup continues today with Scotland against Japan, Australia against Fiji and France versus Romania. Meanwhile, England have made changes for Saturday's match with Wales, with Owen Farrell replacing George Ford at fly half and Sam Burgess replacing the injured Jonathan Joseph at centre. BBC Three Counties News and Sport, the next full bulletin at 8.
Mama put the popcorn kernels in the pot. She turned up the heat, now the pot is getting hot. And then those popcorn kernels start to pop, 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 pop.
no idea. They're on the show next week, guys. That's right. Oh, no, hang on a second. Bare Naked Ladies live on the show. Well, not live. They'll be live at some point, but it won't be on the show live. They'll be pre-recorded. Bare Naked Ladies on the show next week, pre-recorded.
What's the title of that song?
I have literally no idea.
It's pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. And so on.
Okay.
I wonder how long it took to write.
Ages. Oh.
Up
we go.
Are we standing?
Yep, we have to.
Oh, thanks.
Sit back down.
Oh, no.
Standing.
This is old-fashioned anti-musical chairs. Morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Ian. Well,
up, everybody up, everybody up.
Oh. Right.
This is fun.
It is fun. This is what they used to do in the Victorian era.
You can join in at home.
How do you know?
Because I've
were
never
there.
been there.
Oh.
That little angel singing at the end was moi. Yes, Dennis!
Good morning. What a lovely morning it is.
Oh, Dennis, that beautiful morning it is. I just want to give you a big wet French kiss.
Oh, gosh.
Whoa, why? No.
Whoa,
no.
yes.
I'm happy to be alive this morning.
You will be even happier if we were snogging.
No, I was wired up yesterday for a heart.
He's given us one of those things about where he nearly died and stuff.
No, they didn't. I'll tell you what. I rolled
Could they
out
not
bed
sweet?
this
Could they?
morning,
If I slip them,
I kicked the bucket and it hurt.
Dennis, if I slip them a tenner, would they be able to turn you off or take your batteries out?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
No, everybody, they're all trying to kill me one way or another.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad, as long as you know.
Yeah, but taking those pads off yesterday, it was like full Brazilian. Believe you me.
Well, what pads? What's going on? Where? Up or down? Well, Dennis, it's marvellous that you keep on keeping on. Hey, that money that I owe you because you made it to 90.
Yes.
Double or quits on 91.
Well, yes. Why not?
Yeah. Why not? Double or quits.
As long as you don't bribe my doctor to send me for something again I haven't got.
Well, I think every
Well, I
man.
rolled out of bed this morning and I kicked the bucket. It hurt like hell.
You've done that joke.
If I roll out and it doesn't hurt, well, you know that. I'm gone. And you can keep your pound.
He's still talking.
Yeah.
Dennis.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Oh.
I love Dennis.
Love our conversations.
Well, I love it when Dennis talks to us. Any texters?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Okay, let's have a look.
Yeah.
They go like this. Del says, look up the word yoghurt. It was a Turkish discovery, not Greek. Bit of factual trivia, guys.
I didn't say it was Greek.
No.
Next.
Hi, Ian. Shirley and Milton Keynes going to have a little boast now. Everybody sit back.
Here we go. Come on, show.
I had 2 yoghurt makers in the 80s.
You lunatic. How much yoghurt could you eat? What were you doing with it?
My mum had one before then. Added fruit and sugar to taste nice. You started off with a teaspoon of live yoghurt to long life milk. Ooh, I once had some milk in a flask and forgot about it. And when I remembered and opened it, the milk had turned to yoghurt on its own.
Yeah, but you
it's
wouldn't
all about
eat it.
keeping it warm.
You wouldn't eat that, though.
Well, she might.
Those yoghurt
the
makers
80s.
are weird, man. The thing is, how much electricity must they have used? And that yoghurt was disgusting. Horrible, warm, lumpy yoghurt. You had to pour sugar in.
Me.
Pour a little sugar on me, baby.
Tommy Milton Keynes says...
Hang on a minute. I can do something here. Hang on.
Right.
You had... Hang on.
2...
You had to pour... You had to pour into it to make it tasty.
I'm not sure what you just did was worth it.
No, I don't think it will. It takes 8 pints of milk. Talking about doing things that aren't worth it, it takes 8 pints of milk to make 1 pound of butter. Also, as a matter of interest, how many OAPs were involved in all the accidents that has happened? Oh, flipping heck, that took a bit of a turn, didn't it, Tommy Milton Keynes?
Oh, dear.
Combining your questions. Teaspoon of yoghurt in each pot, says Janet in Cheshunt. Fill with milk, plug in, leave overnight, leave to cool before consuming. I still have a device. It's in the shed.
Why are we obsessed with that bloody baby rhino born at Whipsnade? It's just a rhino. I've seen a rhino before.
It's so tiny.
It's not. It's massive.
It's smaller than its mum.
Oh, this is going to blow your freaking mind. This is going to blow your... I need some spooky music. Oh, bum, that's the thinking music. And I don't want to do any thinking, and that's my downfall, many would suggest. Let me get... This is, honestly, this is going to blow your tiny... Although I think... I mean, I've actually told you this already, Catherine. So just pretend that... Here we go, some spooky music.
Oh.
Oh, no. That's the equaliser.
That's aggressive music.
Hang on.
That makes me want to fight.
Hang on. Spooky music. Here we go. It's the Rockford Files. Hang on. There we go. Spooky music.
No. It's Doogie Howser.
Oh, fair play. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I used to love that.
I never watched it. I haven't got the spooky music. Here we go. Here we go.
He was a kid, but he was a doctor.
Oh, that's exactly what I just put in for you.
I've got it. So, no, it isn't. You put in Halloween. This is The Exorcist. Get your horror films right. So
sorry.
we took the dog training last night. It was as dull as I expected it to be. Got a Westie, right? You need to pay attention to this, Kelly, because she knows the answer.
Okay.
Got a Westie, right? And there's about 7 other dogs in there, all different brands and makes and varieties, all different brands.
All different genres.
There was another Westie, little boy. Mine's a little girl. They were sat next to us, and she was acting really weird around this Westie, right? She's with other dogs. She's fine. She's brilliant. She's great. She saw an old Westie the other day, and she was like, "Oh, that's what I'm going to look like, man. Freaky." I said, "Don't worry, you won't look like that. We'll look after you." But she has this Westie, and she was being really weird around him, and she was like crying and barking and yapping and crying and barking and yapping. Anyway, I told you this, didn't I? Yeah. Got talking to the lady what owns the boy Westie. How old's your dog? It was about 14 weeks. I was about 14 weeks. What date was the dog born? June the 16th. Oh, ours was June the 16th.
Brother and sister.
Brother and sister. And I bought that dog about 150 miles away. Brap! That is freaky. And I could tell they were brother and sister because as they were leaving, the boy dog tried to mount my dog and have intercourse with her. It was the... but it was the freaky...
I've got uncles like that.
What are the chances of that? What are the chances of that happening?
Very slim.
There is no chance of that happening.
If you bought the dog from next door...
Yeah.
The chances are high.
Yeah, higher. Yeah.
150 miles away.
The chances have got to be like at least 10 billion to 1.
Same time, same place. It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? That's freaky, man. Tim says, I bet Iain looks really funny walking a Westie pup. Do you know what? Yeah. I look cool.
He doesn't walk it because she won't walk, will she? So he carries her in a very camp manner.
If you go to any of the woods or parks near me, you'll see me at the end of one of the extender leads going, come on! Right, picking you up under the arm.
When
this
are you
is
bringing
walking.
her in?
No.
Why?
I don't like people who bring dogs into work. I don't approve of it.
Plus, she wheezes everywhere.
Yeah, she's not.
We've already got
trained.
you to worry about.
It's a place to work, mate. It's not kennels. It's not fun time here. This is work time.
You can make it fun time.
I choose not to.
We noticed.
Choose not to. Yeah, I did mention Greek yoghurt, but I didn't say the Greeks invented it. I was listing yogurts, all the yogurts I could think of that we didn't have in the 1970s. And I said we didn't have ski and we didn't have Greek. I didn't say Greeks invented it. Hey, here's a guy we should all look up to. And does the name Martin Shkreli mean anything to you, Kelly Betts?
No.
Sounds like one of your pseudonyms.
Hello, it's Martin Shkreli on the phone. Doesn't mean anything to you?
No.
Does Martin Shkreli mean anything to you?
No.
Yeah, he should mean something to you because he's what I believe. I believe the Americans call a douchebag.
Oh.
He's a douchebag.
Gosh.
Do you know why? Have you not read this story?
No. Why would you call him that?
Trader buys AIDS drug and puts up the pill price from £9 to £500. All right, mate.
I saw this.
He's bought the rights to this drug for AIDS that cost £9, and he's put it up to by 5,500%.
His justification: it can pay for more research.
A Wolf of Wall Street has sparked a fury by buying the rights to a life-saving drug and raising the price by 5,500%. Martin Shkreli's firm has hiked the cost of each Daraprim tablet from £8.70 to £485. The pills...
It's outrageous, isn't it?
I mean, and also £8.70, right, because... The pills cost about 64 pence to produce. So that's still a pretty decent markup on it. Combat a disease. Oh. It gets worse. Listen, how could you read this sentence and not think, what an absolute idiot? The pills, which cost about 64 pence to produce, combat a disease mainly affecting babies and people with weak immune systems, such as AIDS and cancer patients. Nice guy, Mr. Shkreli. He's denied his firm was being greedy. Ex-hedge fund boss Mr. Shkreli, 32, runs Turing Pharmaceuticals. Well, Alan Turing would be...
disgusted.
He would be disgusted by it. Which acquired the rights to the drug last month for £36 million.
Gosh.
And there's just a picture of him just looking really smug. Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
How do you sleep?
What a horrible, snarky, sneaky little...
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, there are delays anti-clockwise because it's been blocked by a car transporter fire between junction 25 for Enfield and 24 for Potters Bar. Those queues are from junction 27 for the M11. Also, anti-clockwise 2 lanes are closed between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford, and it's causing delays from junction 22 for St Albans. On the M40, heading away from the Denham roundabout towards the M25, it's very slow, and the M1 is busy southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and 11 for Dunstable through the roadworks. On the A421 Bedford Southern Bypass, there are delays because of the accident investigation work going on between Cardington Road and the A6 at Elstow. And on the trains, a problem's been discovered on the track northbound from Stevenage to Hitchin. So that's affecting Virgin Trains East Coast and Great Northern services northbound with 15-minute delays. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Mr. Shkreli. Oh, horrible man. 7:46, Wednesday, the 23rd of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened on the A428 at Bromham yesterday evening. Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apspond Lane site. And a 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last month. Let's get the weather!
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello there, plenty of bright weather around today. As we head into the afternoon, though, we've got a bit more cloud coming in from the west, possibly some drizzly bits and pieces, but for many it will stay dry during the day at least, with highs of 17 degrees Celsius, so quite warm for the time of year. Now tonight, quite cloudy. We've got some drizzly, showery rain on and off throughout the night, with lows of 12 degrees. That rain does clear in the morning tomorrow, though, and by the afternoon, well, some of us will have a cloudy end to the day, but there will be some bright, even sunny spots. A bit more breezy and very isolated showers, so for many drier later on. Temperatures up to 17 degrees Celsius again. Now from Friday through till Sunday, things are looking very settled indeed. We may have some early patchy fog and chilly mornings, but during the day we're looking at a fairly bright and sunny picture. It does look like it should be mainly dry as well, with lighter winds, but getting warmer as we go into next week. That's your latest forecast.
Even if you can't get to the match.
Already, we're hearing stories of Watford fans saying that they are going to struggle to get here.
Or listen to the commentary.
Quick feet, hasn't he? Quick feet and good skill and good vision.
You can still keep up to date with your local team with Three Counties Sport.
There is the half-time whistle. It's 0-0. Plenty to ponder.
Follow us on Twitter to get all the team news.
There's 2 changes from the team that won a Barnet on Saturday.
Goals as they happen.
Trying to make room for the shot. Marriott into the corner of the net. Super goal from Luton Town.
And reaction at the final whistle.
Momentum changes very quickly in these games, and we're disappointed for that.
Twitter.com/BBC3CR and stay up to date with your local team.
Why is the world pretending to be upset and angry or even interested in bridge? One of the greatest broadcasters in this country yesterday did a whole 30 minutes about bridge. And I'm sat there texting my mate going, what is he doing? And my mate replied going, what is bridge? Is bridge cribbage?
Dunno, cards, innit?
Is cribbage crib?
Dunno, it's cards.
It's a boring card game, right? And it went, is bridge a sport? Got a question for you. Why don't you give us a call on the phone? Is bridge a sport? Because the bridge makers want it to be a sport so it can be in the Olympics. Well, chess is a sport, and dance is a sport.
You know what it's about, really?
Yeah.
Money.
Money.
They
It's
want
about-
lottery money.
Show me the money. Show me the money.
And I don't play the lottery so that they won't get anything.
The thing is, right, I tell you now, I tell you straight, is bridge a sport? No, it's a card game. Next,
It's
thanks.
like it's snapper sport.
No, it's
Should
a card
be.
game. Next, Uno.
I don't know, way we play it.
Close.
It would be a sport if they were javelling while doing it.
They were what?
Javelling.
Pardon? Say again? Javelling.
Hang on, just say that one more time, Kelly. What did you say?
Javelin.
Which end was that, by the way?
That was Cassin.
My nose.
Oh, God.
Yeah. so
I missed that guy.
Yeah.
I've done a little garden.
Dave, have you got any?
that's a sport.
Dave, have you got any questions for Kelly?
What are you beefing on about?
Good question, Dave. Javelling. It's not a sport. It's a card game. Next.
Twister.
The stakes could not be higher with lottery funding up for grabs, but is bridge really a sport? No, it's not. And chess isn't a sport. There are loads of people on Radio 4 and LBC years ago, well, chess is a sport. No, it's not. Chess isn't a sport.
James O'Brien dropped a catch yesterday because I heard him talking to this bloke who said it's very physically demanding playing bridge. You have to think. No, that's not physically then, is it?
No, that's
mentally.
mentally. No, I couldn't believe that he was doing it for half an hour, and I've got ultimate respect for that gentleman. 30 minutes of... Oh, it's bridge is sport. I can't do a James O'Brien impression.
You have to put your hand on your...
So, what I want to... I'll work on that.
Service is slightly brummy.
I'll work on that because I'll be able to get that. I'll be able to do a James O'Brien.
Yeah.
Not career-wise and financially earning-wise, but certainly in voice-wise. So the answer to that question, no, it's not a sport. Things that aren't a sport. Bridge, chess, and cricket. They're not sports.
Oh.
No, cricket's not a sport. How can a sport last 2 days and have you stop for lunch? No.
But they do sweat.
I don't
Or
think
do
so.
you say darts?
Yeah.
No. Is that
Do you want me
sport?
to say it now?
No.
Go on then.
Darts.
Is that a sport?
Darts.
No.
Yeah, the darts is a sport.
Arras is his pub game.
No.
That and dominoes.
No. Darts is a sport.
No.
This is hard work.
I do that without throwing the arrows.
You
Should
do
I
that
get a
without,
medal?
You do that without holding a glass.
Wow,
I
that
am
would
mi-
be... That would be some hell of a...
I am miming supping a lovely pint of beer. Lovely beer. Ooh, lovely beer. Ooh,
That looks more like a
some
yard.
darts.
Anyway, no, it's
Not
not.
had that for a while. So no, it's not. So that's that sorted.
What else isn't a sport?
Uh,
Jogging.
Well, no one's ever said jogging's. I tell you what I do like. What do they call it? Mincing? No. Power walking. I love power walkers. I love it because there is no way you can, who's the butchest man in the world? Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan, right? There's nothing camp about that guy.
Well,
at all.
there is a bit. Let's choose someone else. Who were we talking about yesterday?
Charles Bronson.
No.
Not the murderer. The actor.
No, the other fella.
Edward Woodward.
No, the one that could. We were putting in a fight against the Fall Guy.
Thor.
No.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris, right? Imagine you're in Hyde Park, right, and Chuck Norris goes power walking past you. You go, oh, blimey, he looks camp, doesn't he?
Just shut it, pal.
You shut it. He looks camp, doesn't he, Chuck? So no one can look. Power walking is for elderly women. That's all it's for. For camp people who've got to get somewhere who are late for a train, and old women. That's what it's for.
It looks to me like they've got uncomfortable underwear and they're trying to work it out.
You know, did you know that someone invented jogging?
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm asking them.
No, it's not an invention. It's just a thing you do. It's faster than walking.
No. Someone invented jogging, and do you know how he died?
Yeah, I do. Heart attack jogging.
Heart attack jogging.
Doing it wrong, turns out.
It's an American guy. He invented jogging in like 1972. So just think for a second. Before 1972, there was no such thing as jogging or joggers. Joggers didn't exist. There was either walking or running, and that was it. Power walking didn't start until 1993.
So if there was no jogging, what did people do when they were running for the train and then realised they weren't going to make it? What was that in that
They just
transitional
went-
thing?
They just
stopped.
They just stopped. Went. Oh.
They didn't do a little...
If only there was some in between. But I've only got slow walking or fast running, and I've not got the puff for.
Embarrassing.
running would probably be too fast. I get there with plenty of time with running. Walking, I ain't never going to make it. There's just nothing. Well, let's go home. So before 1972, there was no jogging or joggers. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
That's nuts. Before 1965, and this blows people's minds. Before 1965, there were no such things as pockets.
What do people have? Bum bags?
No, there were no pockets. And this is... Tobias Pockets, a Dutchman, invented pockets 1965... Pockets or something, I don't know how you say it. Pockets.
He's Dutch.
My name is Tobias Pockets. He's got an umlaut.
Pockets.
Before 1960... Stop laughing.
Me?
Hello?
I'm not. I'm just writing what I'm going to put in the podcast.
Oh. No such thing as pockets. And people go, oh, that can't be true. Ever seen a picture of Jesus with a pocket?
Hang on a minute.
Picture of Henry VIII with a pocket. A picture of the Beatles before Help with pockets.
I can bust this myth. Lucy Lockett, she had a pocket. And that was well before the 60s.
No, it wasn't, though.
Oh, yeah.
If you watch Help, the Beatles film, right, they are covered in pockets. Do you know why? Because they were getting a few quid from the pocket company. Honestly, all of their jackets, they got pockets here, pockets there. Paul keeps opening his jacket and you see his inner pocket that side. Ringo pulls drumsticks out from pockets.
Product placement.
Thank you. It's the modern equivalent of having, I don't know, think of something modern. A Blockbuster video store in an episode of El Dorado. It's product placement. Honestly.
I'm not sure if I believe you.
No, honestly, there was an episode of El Dorado with a Blockbuster video in it. Marcus, go to get the Ghostbusters from the Blockbusters. They don't have the Blockbusters or the Ghostbusters. Anyway, so that's that. 03459 455 555. Oh yeah, that's true. The guy that invented jogging was called Jim Fix.
No.
That's true. Fifi's texted that in. Thank you, Fifi. New listener. You should be listening to another BBC local radio station. Primarily because you live there. Primarily because you work there. But don't matter.
She's not busy.
She's not busy. But, it was the guy who invented jogging was called Jim Fix. You can't give me that fact you're about to give me, Kelly, because you've got to answer the telephone and your microphone's off.
He was called Jim Fix and not Joey Jog.
County.
Where on earth did you come up with jogging then?
Oh, dearie me.
As a term.
There we go.
Gosh.
Oh, now this is a good one. I think we've all done this, Same. Food experiments. Me and my sisters tried putting milk into a soda stream. Great. She says
bubbly milk.
Don't know why.
Bubbly milk.
Thought it'd be a good idea. It's a great idea. Then Same says fizzy milk is revolting. Nah, fizzy milk, Steve. Here's the top tip, Steve. Half a glass of Coca-Cola, half a glass of milk.
Right, so is that if you just can't afford a stomach pump or something?
No, honestly, and I nicked this one from Danny Baker, as I nicked a lot of the act. Half a glass of Coca-Cola, You tried it, didn't you, Kath?
No, I haven't tried it. Sounds revolting.
No, I know, doesn't it? It is delicious.
What does it make, Mars milk?
No, what?
Say it again, I might have tried
Mars isn't involved. You know how you make lemonade? No, hang on a second. You know how you make Coke? It's lemonade and gravy. But half a glass of Coca-Cola, Kelly.
Yeah.
Half a glass of milk.
Oh, yeah, I've had put ice cream in my Coke and I imagine it's the same.
Yeah, we've done that. Floater.
Yes, same, isn't it?
It's called an ice cream float. A float is something different, Catherine. Steve, what have you got for us, boss?
Just talking about that Martin Shkreli chap.
Martin Shkreli. Oh, he's the guy that his company's bought the AIDS drugs they sell for £9. Now they're going up to just under £500.
Yes, that's him. I was researching him last night. He's got one of those faces you just never get tired of punching, hasn't he?
Well, I would never condone violence against anyone, but yeah, his face looks like a slapped bum. Why would...
Anyway,
Go on.
I was just saying, I work in sort of medical advice sector. Most of my work is in drug delivery. And I honestly think this guy is just really a marketing ploy to promote his company. I'm quite repelled he's got it Turing after Alan Turing. But the fact is, the drug he's got is 60 years old. It's off patent. If there's the potential to make that much money out of it, there are a bunch of generics companies in India who will be able to start cranking it out for next to nothing.
Oh.
So I think he's on like a very short-term money grab, but more than anything, he's trying to promote his company and say, look how incredibly clever I am, and then mop up some funding.
Okay, so but again, it's all about the money, and of course, these drugs companies are all about the money. That's they're drugs companies. They're there to make cash. Would you say that, Stephen? I do know you're a genius, and we're a little bit late for travel, but they can wait for a second. Is this quite is this quite a common thing to happen? And he's just been unlucky in that Twitter have caught him.
It's not. Well, it depends. Most of the companies we work with are working for discovery drugs. They're developing new products, and it does cost eye-watering amounts of money, and most of them fail before they ever make it to market. So you're not actually just paying for that drug, you're paying for the dozens of drugs that haven't actually managed to make it all the way to late-stage clinical trial and market. What this guy's business model is buying up old sort of orphan drugs, which have got, which treat a critical illness, so it's a chronic illness, something that someone's going to have for the rest of their life. So they're just treating it, there's no cure in it, and it's purely on grabbing for money. His company doesn't actually do any discovery or research work at the minute. He's claiming it does, but I haven't seen any evidence to support that position. And if you are doing that, you come up with a decent idea, then you get your funding.
Yeah.
You don't say, no, we need a stack of cash for our gold-plated rocket cars, and then we'll go and discover a drug.
Gold-plated rocket cars, you say. Steve, always a pleasure to talk to you. I've got to move on, but thank you. I really appreciate your call. 03459 455 555. Let's get the trav.
News for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
M25 is blocked anti-clockwise between junction 25 for Enfield and 24 for Potters Bar because a car transporter is on fire. It's causing delays from junction 27 for the M11, and it's really slow in the opposite direction too as people look over. And 2 lanes are also closed anti-clockwise between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford. That's after an accident causing delays back from junction 22 for St Albans, and it's also very busy in the opposite direction too. The A40 has delays from the Denham roundabout towards the M25. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Sorry it was so brief. I got carried away there. 03459 455 555. More of your calls after the news with Simon Oxley.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. The headlines: another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire, firefighters back at Hertfordshire recycling site, and police standards investigation after Luton hotel attack.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened yesterday evening on the A428 at Bromham. Early yesterday morning, a cyclist was killed on the Bedford bypass. 5 people have now died on the county's roads in just over a week. More from Catherine Boyle.
Police are appealing for witnesses to last night's 2-vehicle collision which happened on the A428 at around 5:45. A woman in her 50s died at the scene, and a man's been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. The male cyclist was killed on the A421 at around 6 a.m, with the road closed for over 8 hours. Last week, a woman pedestrian died in Dunstable, a motorcyclist was killed in Biggleswade, and a car driver died in Toddington.
Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site. Firefighters were called again yesterday with smoke drifting across the nearby M1. Crews are still there this morning. Herts County Council say they're still considering taking legal action unless the wood is removed. Iain Parkhouse is the Assistant Chief Fire Officer.
We've got crews on scene. They're dealing with any hotspots of fire we may have, and obviously the site operators have brought in some heavy machinery. We've got crews back there this morning, so we had crews there until about 11 o'clock last night. We've got crews back there this morning helping out the site operators with their actions and operations.
A 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last month. The 17-year-old, who cannot be named for legal reasons, is due to appear at Reading Magistrates Court today. 2 18-year-olds from High Wycombe have already been charged with murder. A review of how charities raise funds has said there's been a loss of confidence in the system of regulation and has called for it to be replaced. The government ordered the report after a number of cases came to light of vulnerable donors being bombarded with requests for money. An incident at a Luton hotel which left a man critically injured is to be investigated by the Professional Standards Department of Bedfordshire Police. It's emerged that officers had earlier spoken with the alleged attacker. More from Gail Sanderson.
Police were called to the Hampton by Hilton Hotel near Luton Airport on Sunday night and found a man in his 30s with serious head injuries. 21-year-old Rainis Popolins from Latvia was arrested at the scene. He was charged with attempted murder and has been remanded until October. The incident was referred to the IPCC as part of standard protocol, as police had spoken with the defendant earlier the same night at another Luton hotel. The IPCC ruled the incident should be investigated by the Bedfordshire Police Professional Standards Department.
In sport, Milton Keynes Dons host Southampton in the third round of the League Cup tonight. The Dons could give a debut to new signing Nicky Maynard after the striker joined until the end of the season. The weather, dry with some sunshine this morning, cloudier this afternoon with some rain this evening, a maximum temperature 17 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon! Thank you, Simon. Oh, dear. Paul Scoyne's wading into the yoghurt debate. I'd like to add a point to the argument that's not been made already. I don't think Petit Falou or Muller Corners existed pre-70s. That's what I said,
Yeah, we know that,
Scoynes.
Scoynes. It was only ski.
That's what I said. It was ski. And then I would say about 1982, the Munch Bunch.
Yeah.
The Munch Bunch. Do you remember the Munch Bunch had a TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you remember the theme tune?
No.
The Munch Bunch have come away. The Munch Bunch are here to stay. Yeah?
We were quite food obsessed then. There was the Munch Bunch and the Garden Gang, wasn't there?
We're not doing old TV shows. That would be remiss. But I tell you what, the new. I never normally say this. The new Inspector Gadget on Netflix. Oh, and half good. It's very funny. Very funny.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Very funny.
Sore point with me, Inspector Gadget.
Why? What did he do? Go Gadget bum pinch?
No, he didn't. No. Unfortunately.
Go Gadget! No, what did he say yesterday? Go Gadget, intricate yoga move.
No. It's a sore point with me because when I was at school, my mum bought me a what could only be described as an Inspector Gadget coat.
Ooh.
And it led to a lot of teasing.
Beautiful.
Go Gadget Kath.
Clothes you were teased for at school. I got a posh coat from CNA's. And it was quite puffy, mauve. And wore it to school. First day at school, look at my new... Hey, nice new coat.
Ribena.
Nice new coat. It's just like that girl's over there. Oh, no. And a girl had the same coat as me. Couldn't wear that coat ever again.
Do you remember how important trainers were?
I was never... Yeah, I kind of do.
Well, when we lived up north, they weren't... When I came here, it was like a snake pit. Like first day when you put your trainers on in front of your mates.
Yeah.
And mine were rubbish. And so I begged and pleaded. My mum was saying, it's not important. This stuff isn't important. One day you'll realise this stuff isn't important. All right, I'll buy you a pair of Nikes. I've seen some cheap ones. Do you want blue or pink? I should have known then.
Yeah.
She came back with a pair of Nicks. Got worse. Only thing worse than that would have been Dunlops. And actually, they're cool now.
Mate, I had Dunlops, grey Dunlops.
Not Green Flash.
Grey Dunlops.
Do you know the Dunlop Green Flash is standard issue in the army now? You wouldn't mess with them.
Well, I'd mess with a few of them. If I had a few beers,
If they'd had a few beers, you wouldn't mess with them.
If I had a few more beers, I'd probably mess with
Just
them.
have some beers with them.
I'd have some beers with the army. That'll be nice.
Yeah, your trainers.
03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Yogurts.
Pockets.
I think that's about it, isn't it, Kelly?
And food experiments.
Lettuce, food experiments, that comes under. 81333. Start your text. And you're away. 3 years ago, it took firefighters 3 months to put out a fire at a recycling plant near St Albans. Yesterday, they were back there after smoke was spotted by passers-by. Last time it caught fire, it took 3 months to put it out. And fire crews used so much water that people living nearby had to move out. Well, Susan Slaughter is a nearby resident and joins me now. Morning, Susan.
Morning.
I would I would imagine that after the last time, the 3 months, and it was hellish. People couldn't sell houses. People had to move out for a bit. There was no water, no electricity for those people in the immediate surrounding area. That a local resident would constantly be on alert and anxious that this might happen again.
Yes, exactly. We're always looking out for smoke and, to the smell of fire. It's just a constant threat, really. It was a light also in June this year again, and firefighters attended from St Albans, Hemel and Watford.
Oh, blimey, I didn't know about it in June. So
Yes, it's in the Hearts Advertiser as well.
So there's no fire at the moment, but there is smoke. What's it like?
Last night in the evening, all you could smell was sort of wet, damp smoke, like a bonfire that had been put out.
Yeah.
And I'm over half a mile away.
Flippin' heck. One of the key points of this story, every time we get someone from the council or the Environment Agency or whoever, is that we are going to ask the owners of this site very, very nicely to remove the wood. In the last 3 years, has there been any sign of that wood being moved, Susan?
No, in a word.
Oh, blimey.
The Environment Agency has said that 10,000 tonnes have been removed. That's doubtful because that's over 300 lorry movements, and I think we would notice 300 lorries coming through to move wood waste, and nobody's seen any lorries.
Have you seen any sign of change or work there in an attempt to reduce it?
No, none at all.
According to St Albans District Council, they understand that the Health and Safety Executive is now responsible for regulating this site. Who do you think's in charge of this?
I honestly don't know. They all seem to pass the buck. You get some people come out. The Environment Agency seem to come out quite a lot, and then it changes who's in charge at their end. They put somebody else in charge, and we never get anywhere.
This is the thing.
Residents keep complaining.
It's one of those stories where there's no one is in charge long enough to kind of take full responsibility. So if I got someone in from the Environment Agency now, it wouldn't be the same person I spoke to last year or 2 years ago. No.
The lady that was in charge, she's in charge of another case now, and it's a new lady who was supposed to come and talk to our parish council meeting on the 15th of September, but they declined. Oh. They said they were coming, and then the week before they said they couldn't come.
There's no accountability from anyone, from the council, the Environment Agency, or from this company. Have you had any dealings with the company? Have you spoken or emailed or written to this company that own this site?
We did originally when the main fire went in 2012, but we got no response, so nobody's sort of chased that up. We're just leaving it to the authorities, hopefully, to do something.
Oh man, it's just dragging on. Well, Susan, we know that the fire brigade are there, and hopefully it will prevent it from actually turning into a fire. We'll keep our fingers crossed, Susan. If there are any more developments, please keep in touch, won't you?
Yes, I will do.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. This is Susan Slaughter, 03459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alan says, 5 Live go on about rugby all the time. That is not a sport. It's just 30 fat blokes jumping on a weird-shaped object. There's no skill involved whatsoever. No, I don't like rugby. At all. A tedious game, as most of them are. But rugby's a sport. There is an element of physical prowess involved.
Yeah, and look at their ears. They've sacrificed enough, haven't
Sacrificed their ears, haven't they, just?
You'd think they'd be able to stop cauliflower ears now. But I saw a right pair on the telly the other day. What a state. Like they've been chewed up.
Speaking of a right pair on the telly. The X Factor.
I've watched a bit of that. I've been sucked in.
Hey, that Steve Brookstein's a nice guy, isn't he?
Wow. I saw some of those exchanges yesterday.
That Steve Brookstein. What a nice, down-to-earth guy. Really, really earthy.
I wonder why he found the management at Psycho so overbearing.
I wonder why Sharon Osbourne called him a C-word. I wonder why. Really is.
Couldn't get on with fame.
If you really want to, the two places on the internet, if you ever want to see the darkest depths of humanity, and if you want to despair for the future of us all, go to the Daily Mail online comments or Steve Brookstein's Twitter feed. Either of those things will make you just marvel at how low the human spirit can sink.
Although sometimes there's a fight back on Daily Mail comments. I was heartened by something I read on there last week. I can't remember what it was, but it heartened me. People were saying, don't be ridiculous, Daily Mail. Sort it out.
Well, I'm glad that
It was one day. It was one story. But, you know, there's hope.
Well, I'm glad that there's hope then, where there's...
Because for the most part, it's dark, like you say.
X Factor star Anton Banahan.
Sorry?
Banahan.
What did he
Anton
do?
Banahan is exposed today as a thug who robbed a woman.
Oh.
Banahan, 21.
Banahan's 21.
Anton Banahan, 21, wowed all 4 judges and made it through to the boot camp stage after his rendition of George Ezra's... Oh, you'll like this one, Kelly. Budapest.
Oh, I saw him.
Budapest.
He looked like butter wouldn't melt.
Budapest, more like what a pest. Listen to what he's been up to.
Oh, nice one.
The sunken reveal he was
Classic dad
charged...
joke.
Thank you very much. The sunken reveal he was charged in his Irish homeland with robbery as a teenager.
Right.
Banahan, then 18, lost his temper with a care worker at a residential home, stole her mobile phone and car keys. Okay, so what, are they asking for him to be kicked off? Because, I mean, if you're going to kick him off, imagine if you'd had someone on TV who had slapped and been racist towards a black woman earning less than minimum wage in a public toilet. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Imagine if there was... Imagine paying someone like £1 million to go on telly after they've been found guilty of being racist, slapping a black woman who works in a toilet offering toiletries. Imagine that! They'd never allow that on telly, would they?
You know David Dickinson? Beloved by old ladies and tanning salons.
He's done time.
He's been in strange
Yeah,
ways.
yeah. He's done time.
Are we saying you're not allowed to change?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
We're not saying, by the way, that David Dickinson used racist language and slapped a black woman.
No, it was some sort of blue collar thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. That's all right.
That's all right. It's all right. Well, yeah. So old now, aren't I?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 is blocked anti-clockwise between junction 25 for Enfield and 24 for Potters Bar because a car transport is on fire and it's causing delays all the way from junction 28 for the Brook Street roundabout. It's also slow in the opposite direction clockwise. Also anti-clockwise, there's a lane closed between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford because of an accident, and that's causing delays back past the M1 from junction 22 for St Albans. In Denham on the A40 Western Avenue, there's a lane blocked because a lorry's broken down between the M40 at the Denham roundabout and the Swakeleys roundabout in Uxbridge. In High Wycombe, Marlow Hill's very busy in both directions, and in Bedford on the Bedford Southern Bypass there are delays because of accident investigation work happening between Cardington Road and the A6 to Elstow, so it's very slow westbound. On the trains, there's been a problem with the track northbound between Stevenage and Nebworth, so that's causing delays on Great Northern trains of 15 minutes and Virgin Trains East Coast of 10 minutes. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Hang on a minute. Let me find my heads. We'll do the 7:50. It's 8:17. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened on the A428 at Bromham yesterday evening. Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site. And a 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last month.
Three Counties Sport.
Tonight, our last remaining team in the League Cup face Premier League opposition.
Into a good area, Tadic! 2-0 Southampton.
MK Dons host Southampton at Stadium MK.
And that was created by Reeves. What a good ball in it was.
Hoping to make it to the fourth round for the second year running.
Baker slots it away. And this time Carl Robinson
and is celebrating.
Hear how the Dons get on in Three Counties Sport. Tonight from 7 here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's taking longer than ever for the police to investigate crimes in Hertfordshire, causing greater distress to victims. Figures obtained by the BBC show that Hertfordshire police are in the top 10 for the number of days it takes to charge someone, with Bedfordshire and Thames Valley also above the national average. Well, Neil Alston chairs Herts Police Federation. Morning, Neil.
Morning, Ian.
I'm making up. You're going to tell me this is all down to police cuts?
No.
OK, go on then. Why is it happening?
It's happening because things are getting much more complex in terms of what officers have to deal with, and complex things take longer times to deal with than simple things.
Well, no, but complex. There are complex crimes happening all over the country. So why is Hertfordshire taking so long?
I don't know. I couldn't give you an answer to that. Police cuts probably will come into that answer, though.
Whose fault is it? The police or the CPS?
Probably both. But Hertfordshire's recognised that this is an issue and is actually introduced on the 7th of September a new bail process, which tightens it up very, very, very much.
Well, how does it tighten up? What does it do?
They've started some bail standards, which means that pre-charge bail is reviewed carefully. People who are about to be bailed are given a notice to tell them how long their bail is and why their bail is to be that length of time. Obviously, if someone's got a hard drive that needs to be examined, that's going to take at least 4 months, I'm told, to be examined. So these things do take time.
Yeah, it must be frustrating for you lot as well, because, you know, if you've got one of the bad guys, you want to see him get done as quickly as possible, I would assume.
Absolutely, but of course the role of the police is to collect all evidence and do a proper job, rather than just evidence that confirms someone's committed a crime. We have to look at all evidence, and the time is needed to make sure that we've checked everything and got all evidence to be presented to a court, because that's the beauty of our trial system, is that it's fair.
What? What if there was a? there may be a minority that might argue with that. If there was a time limit on charging people, that's been put forward as one possible way around this. Would that work?
I don't think so, because that would mean that not all evidence would necessarily be collected. It would mean that perhaps people wouldn't be charged because things can be collected in time, and they'd have to be released. And it would bring up the spectre of something that nobody wants, when that people would be released without bail, and then would be liable to be rearrested when new evidence exists, and that starts the time clock, and that's not really very fair to treat people like that.
All right, Neil, listen, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed. Neil Alston chairs Herts Police Federation and is a regular on the show, and it's always appreciated. Thank you very much, Neil. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. Thank you for having a pop at Cheryl Cole, says Lee. I hate the way this country idolised that awful human being. Well, it's that argument, isn't it? Should we all be held prisoner to things we did in our youth? Yeah, what she did was particularly unpleasant. I can't remember the full details. It was a black woman, one of those people. And boy, oh boy, I mean, God bless all of these people that do this job, because that work in public toilets, that hand out, give you your soap and aftershave and perfume and stuff.
And inexplicably lollies.
And lollies in exchange for tips. I mean, really, guys? Could you look yourself in the eye and after you're abusing someone like that? And she used, I think I remember the word she used as well. It wasn't the obvious one, but she used racist language. And if I got this correct, she slapped her, didn't she? I think there was...
She lunged at her. Then just as the security guard came into the toilet, she punched me in the face. She broke the frames of my glasses. They fell off.
That was it. And it was 12 years ago, I'm going to say. 12 years ago.
I've got the date on here. No, I haven't.
I'm going to say 2...
Yeah, it was about that. It was a long while ago.
Because I interviewed Girls Aloud about 5 months after that happened. And what a surprise, we were not allowed to mention the lavatorial racist incident in any level. whatsoever.
2003. Jury has found girls allowed singer Cheryl Tweedy guilty of assaulting a nightclub worker.
Okay. Now, do we hold that against her forever? That's the question. You know, do we? And she's done incredibly well to turn it around. I'm sure she's not racist. I'm sure she's not a thug. Do we hold that against her forever? I suppose everyone's. Well, no, I'd say everyone's entitled to a second chance. I don't know if that's true, actually. I'm trying to think.
But I mean,
Get a little bit deep for me at 8:23.
What do we want of people who are in the public eye to have a completely unbesmirched past?
Pigs and dope.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
but he's arguably he's telling us how to run our lives. She's not. She's just singing some tunes.
Who's it? I can't read this. There's only half a text here about the yoghurt.
Yeah, no, we tried to ring Phil to ask him more about that one because it sounds intriguing. But yeah, hopefully the rest of it will come through at some point.
Okay, let's keep our fingers crossed
Yeah.
because that really does look like.
It looks like a good story. Have you seen the tweet from Russ about his ski jacket?
Oh no, we're asking. Have you ever been bullied, picked on, or teased because of your clothes? I remember I once had these really nice shoes built for me. They were tritone shoes, beautiful shoes. Bold move.
I didn't bully you over
And
them.
you did bully me over them, and they went in the bin because of your bullying.
Well,
and I felt. And here's the thing. And I felt less than. I felt less than.
That was weird because all I said was, "Oh, tritone shoes." That's all I said.
No, you went.
But-
No, you didn't. That may have been the script, but like a good actress, there are many ways to read that script. It came out of your mouth as, "Ooh, tritone shoes."
No, it's just unusual.
You were rude.
It was an unusual choice for a man who, doesn't normally wear tritone shoes, and they were quite clearly not a choice that you would have made ordinarily.
We'll do that tweet in a second. I want to speak to Dan. Morning, Dan.
Morning, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, fella. I'm all right. What you got for us?
I don't know. Kelly just rang me. I did text in about the pocket thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go on. Yeah.
I was just saying. What was I saying about the pickpockets? If the pockets weren't invented by the time people could jog and running.
Yeah.
I was just saying. No, I completely forgot, mate.
Well, thanks very much for texting in. That's great news. 03459 455 555. Thank you, Dan. Go on. What's the tweet?
The tweet was about Russ says.
Yeah.
I had a ski jacket in the mid-90s. For some inexplicable reason, it had Black Beauty written down one sleeve. Life was hell.
Oi. I had a jacket, and I wore this when I was old enough to know better. I was 20 years old, so old enough to know better. Nice black, kind of like bomber jacket, with red trim.
Oh, right, like a baseball jacket thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, sounds good.
Had the Lovejoy logo over my left breast. It was a Lovejoy production jacket that my dad said, "Yeah, you can have this if you want."
Why didn't he want it?
I just don't know, and I'd wear it because I'm not really, as you can tell, I'm not really that bothered about clothes. I have periods where I kind of get a little bit more I'm now actually quite comfortable. I don't really care what I wear. And at the time, it was just always a free coat. I've got no money. I'm a student. Free coat. Yeah, beautiful. But I got teased.
Yeah.
Rightly so for that. That's one where I go, yeah, fair play. Actually, I deserved everything I got then.
It's only a coat, though, isn't it? What I mean.
But with the Lovejoy insignia on,
Wow.
I mean, that's outrageous. I'm trying to find. There's a list in the newspaper today of the greatest Britons of all time.
At what?
At life.
All right.
This is a made-up name. This is by Boudica Fox Leonard.
But that's a beautiful name.
That's a real name. Look, that's her email address.
Bet she didn't go to state school.
Boudica Fox Leonard. That's the most amazing name I've ever heard in my life.
Also slightly.
If you despair of modern celebrities who win fame by beating up black women in toilets, that's a coincidence, or by showing their ignorance on TV reality shows, then take heart. A survey has named the 50 most inspiring Britons, and there's not a Towie or Big Brother name in sight, writes Boudica Fox Leonard. Pick a number between, and I'll be honest, it's quite a dry list.
Okay.
It's quite dry.
And between 1 and 50?
Yes, mate.
45.
What? The 45 greatest Briton of all time is the Duchess of Cambridge. That's Kate Middleton, yeah?
Yeah.
She's too skinny. I've seen her in the flesh. We had a little thing. I don't like talking about it. I didn't. I walked past her in London once. She's too skinny. She's not well. She's ill. She's bony. She's bony maroni.
Boney M.
She's not Boney
How
M.
can she be inspiring? I mean, with all due respect, and when she does speak, I think she acquits herself very well, and she's obviously a bright woman because she went to St Andrews University. I got a place there. I was a bright woman too. So, well, what's she done though? Apart from
She had a
born
fringe.
two
She
kids?
had a fringe done the other day.
And again,
Kelly, you pick one between 1 and 50.
5.
I'll give you this one. Diana, Princess of Hearts. The People's Princess campaigned for HIV sufferers and against landmines. That's her description.
kind of her job though, wasn't it?
That's her description. So the 45, Duchess of Cambridge, her description is future queen and style icon.
Oh.
Lady Di, the People's Princess, campaigned for HIV sufferers and against landmines. We'll have more of that in a bit. Hang on.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 is blocked anti-clockwise between junction 25 for Enfield and 24 for Potters Bar, which is causing delays from junction 27 for the M11, and it's also very busy clockwise. It's because of a car transporter that caught fire. On the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford, it's very slow because of an accident earlier. And the M40 into London has delays now from junction 2 for Beaconsfield towards the Denham roundabout because of a breakdown. On the M1, it's slow southbound from junction 12 for Flitwick to 11 for Dunstable. And the A5 has a lane blocked northbound at junction between the McDonald's roundabout and the Caldecott roundabout in Milton Keynes because of a 2-car accident. On the trains, there are delays on Great Northern and Virgin Trains East Coast northbound between Stevenage and Hitchin because of a problem with the track. And also East Midlands trains have no service between Kettering and Corby because of a signalling problem. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30, I'm Simon Oxley. A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened yesterday evening on the A428 at Bromham. Early yesterday morning, a cyclist was killed on the Bedford bypass. 5 people have now died on the county's roads in just over a week. An incident at a Luton hotel which left a man critically injured is to be investigated by the Professional Standards Department of Bedfordshire Police. It's emerged that officers had earlier spoken with the alleged attacker. And residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site. Firefighters were called again yesterday with smoke drifting across the nearby M1. Crews are still there this morning.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Milton Keynes Dons host Southampton in the third round of the League Cup tonight. The Dons could give a debut to new signing Nicky Maynard after the striker joined until the end of the season. Here's manager Carl Robinson.
I think there's been some very, very good memories playing against Southampton. And so to think that it was once of the League One fixture, we know they're a much bigger club than us. We know that. In some ways, they've set the benchmark. Okay, we can't pay Southampton's wages, but we can do it an awful lot less than how we do it, but in a very similar and honest with a lot of integrity. And I remember managing against them at their place at St Mary's and being 2-0 up. They scored 3 within 5 minutes and we lost 3-2. I can also remember Angelo Ballan scoring a great goal here and winning 2-0.
And there's full commentary on MK Dons versus Southampton in tonight's Three Counties Sport from 7. Meanwhile, the Dons last night confirmed the loan signing of Brighton's England under-21 midfielder Jake Forster-Caskey. He can't play tonight, but is set to feature against Derby on Saturday lunchtime. Tonight's other League Cup matches include Tottenham versus Arsenal, Chelsea minus the suspended Diego Costa at Walsall, and Manchester United at home to Ipswich. Last night, Manchester City won 4-1 at Sunderland. Luton midfielder Ollie Lee has signed a longer-term contract, keeping him at the club until the summer of 2017. Meanwhile, midfielder Nathan Doyle and striker Paul Benson made their comebacks from injury in the reserves yesterday, with Benson scoring. And last night in the National League Premier, Boreham Wood won 2-1 at Torquay. The Rugby World Cup continues today with Scotland against Japan, Australia against Fiji, and France versus Romania. England, meanwhile, have made changes for Saturday's match with Wales, with Owen Farrell replacing George Ford at fly half and Sam Burgess replacing the injured Jonathan Joseph at centre. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
Well, you know, 19, 20, 21, 22, and let's be honest, 23-year-old me is now very, very excited. Let's just get straight... Oh, hang on a second, what's that? That's the mamas and the papas. It's Sonia Madden from Echo Belly. Morning, Sonia.
Hello.
How are you doing? You all right?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Hey, listen, this is so cool to have you on. The big fan back in the day. Boy, weren't those days a long time ago?
Everyone says that, but for me it's weird because I don't have the same experience of time, you know. Everyone says, oh, it was such a long time ago, but I'm still kind of floating on it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I do. I saw you lot. I don't know if you remember this. There was a rehearsal studio in Farringdon called The Fortress. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. Great
I remember The Fortress, and for a while I was in a band.
Oh.
I play bass. If you ever need one, I'm there. I can do it.
We
I
did,
know all the
actually.
hits.
A few months ago, we were desperate for a bass player.
Nuts. Once again, I missed out on my chance on pop stardom. And we came out of The Fortress, not to have a smoke, it's because it was way too smoky in there. And you lot were stood outside. And me and my friend, Conan and Captain John, the drummer, we all got very, very excited. We go, look, it's Echo Bell. And none of us would come and speak to you.
Uh-huh.
If we had done, what would you have said? Would you have been? Were you nice pop stars back in the day?
I think I've always been a nice person. It's interesting, actually, because I've actually gone up to people that I've wanted to talk to, and some people are really nice and some people are really rude.
Yeah, I know, aren't they?
Yeah, and you learn to understand that, you know, if someone has the chance to come up to you and talk to you, then, you know, you really have a responsibility to be a nice person.
Here's my top tip. Never approach Ray Davies from the Kinks in the street. Really doesn't go down well.
Belligerent.
Belligerent is putting it mildly. Echo Belly, of course, were one of the big bands of the early 90s. What were what were the peak years for Echo Belly?
Commercially, I'd say 95, 94, 96.
And it must have been fun, because that was like a proper exciting. There was kind of a musical movement going on that you don't seem to get so often. Things were changing, weren't they?
It wasn't just music, it was the whole country seemed to be celebrating itself. It was very much a pride in now it sounds like a dirty word to be, you know, nationalistic, but it shouldn't be a dirty word. It should actually be something to celebrate, I suppose. And it was in the arts, it was in fashion, it was in everything.
And how much fun was it being, you know, in a really successful band? It must have been awesome.
We weren't that successful. I mean, there's always someone who's doing better than you, so it's all relevant. I think within our field we were successful, but we didn't break that barrier of real household name type prominence. I think we were too eclectic or whatever, esoteric in our choice of subject matters. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, you weren't doing the boy meets girl kind of standard holding hands, let's go and sit in the park type affair, were you? And then when did it end? What was kind of was there a point where you all said, all right, guys, that's it, good luck?
Actually, I remember doing a show in 97 and a whole new spate of bands had come in from America, and it was like grunge light. You know what I mean?
What a lovely genre, yes. Grunge light, yes.
The student level, where we had a huge following, had all left, and the new lot were not into us.
Right.
And it was just like a rude awakening. Aha, something has changed. Britpop is dying. It's over. And I think the danger of being part of the scene is that you come and go with it.
And was there a moment where you all kind of shook hands and went, well, guys, it's been fun? Was it that, or quite often bands, they don't say we've split up, they just sort of drift apart and don't book any rehearsals or anything?
Well, I suppose if I ever write a biography, I mean, it'll really be like a pantheon of rock and roll cliches. What happened to us? There's just, death and drugs and everything in between. So it wasn't just for shaking hands. It was more like people dropping off and,
You're kind of... Echo Belly are playing again, and that's sort of been bubbling away. Have I got this right? That's been bubbling away in various incarnations for the last couple of years.
No, it hasn't actually.
Oh, is it not? Okay, go on. So how did this happen then?
Well, Glenn and I, who wrote all the songs, have been... we released 2 mini kind of acoustic session albums as Karma Zero. And we did a couple of acoustic shows as Echo Belly, but that's it. And we went to see an agent that we used to know a long time ago, and he said, why don't you just forget all that and come back with a show, a proper Echo Belly show, which we'd never thought of. So that's what we're doing. And it's happening. You're playing at Bedford Esquires on Sunday. Yeah. Has the tour started? It's not a tour, it's just Bedford Esquires is a warm-up for the Scala. Okay, right. 2 shows, and we'll. And are you nervous, Sonia? Do you get nervous about this, or are you kind of, you're relishing it? I only get nervous because I don't know how strong my voice is, and those songs were pretty hard to sing. There was a lot of, up and down the scales. There was quite a bit of up and down. Yeah, so I think it's more a case of stamina. I'm very comfortable on stage. I never had that nervous sort of thing, but for me it's more, can I do justice to people buying tickets? Yeah. Well, people are very excited. It's on the 3rd. It's Bedford Esquires. It's on the 3rd. I tell you what, Sonia, pick an Echo Belly song, not one with swear words in, please. I'll be in terrible trouble. Actually, it's not on the 3rd. I think it's on the 4th. Is it? Okay, hang on a minute. Catherine? I've bowled this right,
Catherine,
you keep this. It's Catherine Boyle's full song, yeah, and she's going to be
so
roundly whipped, then fired.
I'm sure you're right, Sonia.
Yes.
One I'll like, one I won't.
We'll find out the right date, and we'll give out the details in a bit. That's remiss of us. Sonia, pick a song, any song from Echo Belly's canon. It doesn't have to be one of the obvious ones, and we'll give it a whirl. Oh, that's an interesting. Yeah, one. I know exactly. We don't always need to do the hits. We can do the hits if you want. But you pick one. Let's see. Can you remember them? That would be helpful for the gigs. I think Dark Therapy is always a favourite. You want Dark Therapy, right? Dark Therapy will be on in about 20 seconds' time once I get my computer booted up. Sonia, listen, it's so nice to talk to you. I really wish you the best of luck with the gigs. I'm sure they'll be a huge success. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Okay. Bye-bye. Sonia from Echo Belly. Have you got the date?
Yeah, Sunday the 4th. Sorry, Sonia. Sorry, everybody else.
Flipping
All
it.
right.
Flipping it,
You've got time to work it out.
Well, okay.
Everyone's got to arrange babysitters these days. It's not like we could just do an all-dayer like we used to.
Exactly. That's the problem. Right, let's have... I've got it on my computer here. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Let's have a little bit of this, shall we?
Above the rooftops, higher than the Milky Way.
waitress, the rehearsal suite I mentioned was, boy oh boy, you're allowed to smoke in there, and I'm not just talking cigarettes. It was a very smoky place. We saw Echo Belly outside. We got excited. We also saw the drummer from Dodgy and got really excited.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? We also saw Swanning Around, and he was just about to become the king of the manor for the 20 minutes that he was, Mr. Jarvis Cocker. Oh, so just kind of... you talk about mincing. You talk about your mincing. Cocker was in all his glory, mincing about the... and I'll have a Mars bar.
He spoke to my sister in that time.
Yeah.
Really nice fella. Talk about...
Lovely gentleman, lovely gentleman. That's Echo Belly. When are they playing?
They are playing on the 4th at Esquires.
There we go. Thank you very much indeed.
And if you were there in the Britpop years, you'll remember what it's like.
Thank you, Sonia. 03459 455 555. Let's get the trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's still blocked between junction 25 for Enfield and 24 for Potters Bar because of a car transporter fire, which is causing severe delays from junction 27 for the M11. Also, anti-clockwise, it's busy from junction 20 for Kings Langley to 19 for Watford, with delays all the way back from the M1 south after an accident happened earlier, although all the lanes are back open again. On the M40 into London, there's a lane closed because of a breakdown between junction 2 for Beaconsfield and 1 for the Denham roundabout. And the A5 northbound in Milton Keynes has the lane blocked by a two-car accident between the McDonald's roundabout and the Caldecott roundabout. On the trains, there are problems northbound, so Virgin Trains East Coast and Great Northern services are having delays through Stevenage. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Right, it's 8:46. It's Wednesday, the 23rd of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened on the A428 at Bromham yesterday evening. Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apspond Lane site. And a 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last month. 03459 455 555. Your calls after the weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We've got a fair amount of bright weather around today. As we head into the afternoon, though, some cloud building from the west, and there could possibly be a bit of drizzle around for some of us, certainly not all of us, with highs of 17 degrees Celsius. That's fairly decent for the time of year. A cloudy night tonight with rain or drizzle throughout with lows of 12 degrees. That rain does clear in the morning, and then some of us will be left with a fair amount of cloud, but it should still be fairly bright. Some sunshine too, but quite breezy with a couple of isolated showers and highs of 17 degrees Celsius. It's looking quite settled from Friday through till Sunday. We'll have lighter winds, bright sunny during the day, and looking mainly dry as well, although we could have some rather chilly mornings and a bit of early patchy fog to contend with, but getting warmer as we head into next week. That's your latest forecast.
Thank you very much.
If you've missed any of the programmes here on BBC Three Counties Radio, you've missed things like this.
What have you got for us, Liz? Can you beat leaving his scooter behind?
Yes. I've left my knickers behind.
But there is a way you can hear it all again.
And he had been replaced with a baby grey budgie.
What?
Yes, he's been replaced.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
Yes, the idea of preparing for Monty Python made me aware that I enjoy being on stage, enjoy being in front of a live audience.
Allowing you to listen to what you missed.
Would you sue your neighbour, your friends, if your child got hurt on one of their trampolines?
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
03459 455
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
I don't... Well, do you understand that top text from Tony?
No.
Read it.
Hang on.
You might be able to help with this one, Kelly. Pay attention, because you know about music.
I didn't know you were a musician. Perhaps you would explain how it's decided what chords go with a tune, Tony from Chertsey. I think I know.
My brown ones, generally. How is it decided what chords go with a tune? Well, that's the tune.
Yeah, but if you have a tune, you've got the melody, right?
Yeah.
So say you were going to put some chords to it as a
we'll
guitarist.
play the Lars tomorrow. I'm going to play the Lars.
Yeah.
Let's have some Lars, shall
So
we?
how do you work it out? Well, you take the note that's in the melody, don't you?
I don't understand
And then
why-
you frame a chord around it.
I don't understand why you'd ask that question.
I think he's being clever.
Or dumb. It's clever or it's C-O-D. Clever or
It's
dumb.
cod.
It's one of those two.
Yeah, definitely. But interesting. Thanks, Tony.
When did hoodies come about? That was 1998.
Yep.
Weren't invented before then. Let's have a look. Is Dealey joining us for the end of the show?
No, he's been detained.
Why? What's he done this
He
time?
went to investigate an incident that turned out not to be the incident we thought it was.
Ah.
But, that's what happens when you're a roving reporter.
He should have gone out on the Bay City Rollers. That's what he should have. And the Bay City Rollers should have gone out on the Bay City Rollers. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. We can do that tomorrow. Ineffectual rock bands. I can't think of anyone more ineffectual than the Bay City Rollers. Hang on a second. Ineffectual rock bands. Who are that group that sang January? Pilot. Ineffectual rock bands.
All right.
Just where the sound, and it's hard to convey into words.
Do you mean that they're a bit kind of wet?
The sound is very, very limp. In fact, if you were to actually hold the record, you'd have to use two hands to keep it straight because it would just keep bending.
All right, okay. Well, I'm going to throw one in that people aren't going to like, but,
Yeah.
but I stand by it. Boyzone.
Yeah, I think in effect. Well, no, they're not
Wait,
a rock
they're
band.
wet.
They're not a
They're
rock
wet.
band. They don't hold their guitars.
All right, so they need to have guitars, okay,
They need to be seen to be playing an electric guitar. Yet when you listen, I don't hear no electric guitar. The Sweet, rock band.
Yeah.
Slade, rock band.
Yeah.
Bay City Rollers, ineffectual rock band. You're listening to Dizzy Gillespie. Okay, pick a number between 1 and 50. We'll have more of these.
We had one on the Twitter from Blueberg Man, who's in South Africa, so let's pay attention to him. Number 30.
Hey guys, you're picking. It's like if we were playing Royal Bingo, we'd nearly have a full house. That house being Buck House. Number 30 is Prince Harry.
Oh.
His description is fair play to Boudica Fox Leonard. She's done good descriptions here. Party prince who went to war in Afghanistan.
I think a lot of the people we've already had, with the exception of Diana, could be, rather than Great Britons, could be Lucky Britons.
Lucky Britons. Okay. Well, let's pick another. Go on then, Catherine.
25.
Now this is not a Lucky Briton.
All right, okay.
Jessica Ennis Hill.
Right.
Olympic gold-winning athlete.
Fair enough, yeah,
That
no.
is. But still, I wouldn't say a great Briton.
Genetically lucky, I'd say.
Well, no, that is hard. Is she the one with the schnozzle?
No.
Okay. Well then, okay, fine. In that case, she's been lucky. But that's hard work and a few bobbers. You got to have a few bob to become a.
Some sacrifice. Yeah. And understanding parents.
No way. I won't put it in the top 50 Great Britons. No. Kels, pick a number.
17.
Ooh. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
Oh.
What's this? Oh yeah. I would say yes. At last, someone worthy of being in this list. Alexander Graham Bell.
Yes.
Credited with inventing the first practical telephone. Didn't invent the telephone. And Logie Baird didn't invent the television. It doesn't matter. We can say they did.
What's this list for? I missed the beginning.
Great Britons.
It's the 50 greatest Britons.
Written by a woman called Boudica. That's fine.
Let's go through. Freddie Mercury was Indian, wasn't he?
Wasn't he from Zanzibar?
He was Zanzibarian. Kelly Betts, your starter for 10. Freddie Mercury's real name.
Edward.
Do you know what? Not far off. It's something as dumb as that.
Edward Mars.
Close, you know, don't you, Kath?
Barry Bulsara.
Barry
How is that
Bulsara.
close?
Well, Edward and Barry are both silly old-fashioned names. Look at a picture of a young Barry Bulsara. Those teeth. I mean, wowzers. Joanna Lumley. Ab-fab actress has also won respect for campaigning for Gurkhas. I hate Gurkhas.
She said some daft things as well, though, hasn't she?
Like
the fox thing.
I'm doing the piece. Hang on.
Go on.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I flippin' hate Gurkhas. They're disgusting, horrible little things.
How can you hate Gurkhas? They're heroes.
No, I'm doing the piece.
All
I know what I'm doing. I hate Gurkhas. Flippin' horrible, disgusting little things. Whenever I get one in a burger, I take it out.
Give it to me.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm the Gurkha taker.
Yeah. What's this song?
Sorry?
What is this song?
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, but what is it though?
Doesn't matter.
No, I know it, but what is it? It's a...
Mary, Mary, what you barking at? By Run DMC, of course. Well, and then
Is Stephen Fry in there at all? Because he should be.
if he's not number one, no.
In all the lists. No.
Mo Farah's number 8.
Is Ronnie Corbett in there? He's a favourite of mine.
Well, at 14, you've got Shakespeare. At 15, you've got J.K. Rowling. I mean, this list is compiled by idiots. The only thing these lists are good for are for padding out weak radio shows that don't have much content or any phone calls. That's the only thing they're useful for.
Yeah, exactly. Can we guess at number 1? I bet I know. I bet I know.
Didn't you just say it?
Number 1.
Go on.
The Queen.
No, she's at number 3.
What?
The Queen is number 3.
Kelly, do you reckon's at number 1?
You'll never guess.
Male or female?
What?
Yes.
Well, that's telling you half the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Female.
What sort of era?
The olden days.
Mother Teresa. What was she?
She wasn't British.
It's the other one. It's not. If you think of Mother Teresa, then who do you think of next? You think of Mother Teresa, Catherine, who do you think of next? In terms of inspirational women who go around doing good and sticking their nose in where it's not wanted.
We know Diana's at number 2.
No, she's at 5. Churchill's at 2.
Oh, Florence Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale is the greatest Briton that ever lived. For goodness sakes, why the hell is Ringo Starr or Bobby Davro not in this list? Those are Great Britain. Or the bloke, the Scottish fella that played Andy in EastEnders. Why is he not in this list?
I've got a Nightingale nugget for you.
You should sell that on eBay. You get a fortune if it's a genuine nugget.
Not only did she kind of, radicalise, radically change what being a nurse was and all that. She didn't radicalise anyone.
Florence Nightingale radicalised
She went off to the
people.
Crimea and came off different.
Yeah. Did she?
Yeah. She was a mathematics prodigy.
So she was double boring.
If she'd been a fella, she would have been a proper, powerful man.
Shut up! She's Florence Nightingale. She's the number 1 Briton of all time, and she's a woman. What more do you want? Oh, if she'd been a bloke, then she'd been a proper powerful man. She's Florence Nightingale. Everyone's heard of her. She's the number 1 Briton. What? How higher can she go? 1 star?
The King?
1A? 0? What do you? I don't understand. Why are you not happy with what she's got? Be happy with what she's got.
If they'd have educated her better, she could have been worth so much more. I mean, even more.
She's she's number 1 Briton.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Despite the patriarchy.
Have we got any... For goodness, you lot are never happy. Have you got any texters?
I don't know.
Well, why don't you have a look?
I'm going to look now.
OK, thanks very much.
Here we go. Here we go. Dennis Waterman, named and shamed by Janet.
Dennis Waterman?
Dennis Waterman is rude and dismissive and swears if approached.
Yeah, I can...
That's his reflex.
Yeah,
I can... Dennis Waterman.
we can do that. We have to tread carefully, but tomorrow we can do snarky stars. I've told you, of course, how Al Jardine of the Beach Boys Al Jardine'd me. I saw a Beach Boy at an airport, LAX, and I thought, it's only Al Jardine, but it's Al Jardine, flipping heck, it's a Beach Boy. I've never met a Beach Boy at this stage.
It's only him, make him feel special.
I went, and I got really nervous, and I followed him down some stairs, and I went... He's only Al Jardine, and I went, Mr. Jardine, and he had his back to me, right? And I saw him go, hang on a minute. He went like this, he went, yeah, what do you want? And I just thought, flipping it, mate. I want all my money back I've spent on tickets and CDs to see you, you rude plum.
Maybe you knew it was you.
Maybe it's possible. Come on, Al. I once interviewed Brian Wilson. I said, what's it like working with Al Jardine? He said, that man's got an ego. Boy, oh boy, hasn't he?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 is still blocked anti-clockwise between junction 25 for Enfield and 24 for Potters Bar, which is causing delays from junction 27 for the M11. It's after a car transporter caught fire. On the A40 Western Avenue into London, they're accused from the M40 Denham roundabout from junction 2 for Beaconsfield, and it's also very busy on all the approaches to the High Wycombe Handycross roundabout. In Beaconsfield on Amersham Road, it's very slow from Longbottom Lane towards London Road, and the A5 northbound in Milton Keynes has a lane blocked by an accident at the McDonald's roundabout roundabout towards the Caldecott roundabout. On the trains, Virgin Trains East Coast and Great Northern have 10-minute delays through Stevenage because of a problem with the tracks northbound. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, excellent stuff as always. Thank you. Ah, blimey, another day over. Wowzers. Oh, next week, Bare Naked Ladies on the show. Excitement, excitement. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Justin. Back tomorrow at 6. Until then, from us, up yours.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Wednesday, it's 9 o'clock, and on today's Big Phone In, do you shop at Aldi or Lidl? Retail analysts have produced figures today showing that half of all British households are now shopping at the big two budget supermarkets. The discount stores are storming ahead in the grocery industry as shoppers are attracted by their low prices. Sales at both Aldi and Lidl are increasing, while some of the biggest supermarkets like Tesco, Asda and Morrison's are struggling to keep up. Whilst it's low prices that are getting people through the doors, research shows it's the quality of the products which has created such a loyal customer base. I want to hear from you this morning. Do you shop at Aldi or Lidl? If so, come on and tell me why. Here's my telephone number. It's 03459 455 555.
This is the JVS show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
So I'll take your call in just a second, but first let's get the latest BBC News at 9 o'clock. Here's Simon Oxley.
The headlines: woman killed in Bedfordshire road crash, police inquiry after Luton hotel attack, and firefighters back at Hertfordshire recycling site.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A woman driver has been killed in another fatal road crash in Bedfordshire. It happened yesterday evening on the A428 at Bromham. The woman in her 50s died at the scene. A man has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. Early yesterday morning, a cyclist was killed on the Bedford bypass. 5 people have now died on the county's roads in just over a week. An incident at a Luton hotel which left a man critically injured is to be investigated by the Professional Standards Department of Bedfordshire Police. It's emerged that officers had earlier spoken with the alleged attacker. More from Gail Sanderson.
Police were called to the Hampton by Hilton Hotel near Luton Airport on Sunday night and found a man in his 30s with serious head injuries. 21-year-old Rainis Popolins from Latvia was arrested at the scene. He was charged with attempted murder and has been remanded until October. The incident was referred to the IPCC as part of standard protocol, as police had spoken with the defendant earlier the same night at another Luton hotel. The IPCC ruled the incident should be investigated by the Bedfordshire Police Professional Standards Department.
A 17-year-old boy from High Wycombe has been charged with murder over the death of a teenager who was stabbed in Slough last month. The 17-year-old, who cannot be named for legal reasons, is due to appear at Reading Magistrates Court today. 2 18-year-olds from High Wycombe have already been charged with murder. Police in Luton are investigating a robbery at the post office in Calverton Road at about 7:30 this morning. Armed police are in the area. A search is being carried out. A review of the way charities raise money from the public has said people should be given the right to opt out from all approaches by fundraisers. The report commissioned by the government also recommends a new tougher regulator following a series of high-profile cases involving mainly elderly people being inundated with requests for money. Residents have again raised concerns about a wood recycling facility near St Albans, nearly 3 years on from a major blaze at the Apps Pond Lane site.